vi que estás aquí, tan cerquita de mí, y me hacía falta, porque la última vez que vine tú no estabas, baby. Oh, vamos a tomar toda la noche, mujer, te invito a bailar hasta el amanecer. Tú quieres jugar y no quieres perder, vamos a bailar, quiero verte mover lento, hasta que el dance solo junte nuestros cuerpos. Lento, yeah. Vamos a tomar toda la noche, mujer, te invito a bailar hasta el amanecer. Tú quieres jugar y no quieres perder, vamos a bailar, quiero verte mover lento, hasta que el dance solo junte nuestros cuerpos. Muy lento, más tarde vamos a enloquecer, y si me dejas tú serás mi mujer. Cuánto se nota que me quieres comer, por eso sé que vamos a enloquecer. Más tarde vamos a enloquecer, y si me dejas tú serás mi mujer. Cuánto se nota que me quieres comer, por eso sé que vamos a enloquecer. Ya vi que estás aquí, tan cerquita de mí, y me hacía falta, porque la última vez que vine tú no estabas, baby. Dime qué quieres, sin reproche, que solo te la desabroche. Vamos al oscuro, hasta las 12. Ay, sí que tú me conoces. Suavecito vamos hasta abajo. Tú tomas tequila, yo voy con refajo. Pasamos bueno, te gusta el relajo, y de 100 billetes yo cargo un fajo. Vamos a tomar toda la noche, mujer, te invito a bailar hasta el amanecer. Tú quieres jugar y no quieres perder, vamos a bailar, quiero verte mover lento, hasta que el sol junte nuestros cuerpos. Muy lento, más tarde vamos a enloquecer, y si me dejas tú serás mi mujer. Cuánto se nota que me quieres comer, por eso sé que vamos a enloquecer.
Hello. Hi. Happy Saturday, everyone. Happy Saturday. Hopefully, many of you don't have to work today. I know Alyssa does, but I hope that everyone is having a great day. Hello, Alan. Hello, Alan. Okay, let me see here. Uh, thank you, Malzord. Okay, so folks, let me see who we have here. Oh, thank you, Lost Legacy. Immediately. Okay, let's get this party started, vibing with the music. Thank you very much, the Lost Legacy, really. And Lost Legacy, I am going to be talking more about freedom of speech. I actually have a presentation lined up for this coming week, going into detail about free speech. And I'm going to make mention some things today regarding what's happening in the country with that. Thank you very much, Lost Legacy. So we already got the first goal there. Fantastic. Okay. Woo. All right, guys. So let me see who's here real fast. Let me do my normal thing here. Why isn't this? There we go. Okay. So all right. Let's see here. Who do we got? Who do we got? Goose was here earlier. Are you still here, Goose? Thank you, Goose. Goose recommended a better Myers-Briggs test for me to take. So, thank you, Goose, for that. Let's see here. Who else we got here? Doug on the left was the first one. Welcome, Doug on the left. Welcome, Doug on the left. Okay. Jazz Naz. Hey, Jazz Naz with the jazz hands there. Okay. Alyssa. Hello, Alyssa. I know you got to go to work eventually, Alyssa. I understand, unfortunately for you. Demosthenes, hello, EQR Demosthenes. Demosthenes, I need to answer your message on Discord. I totally forgot about it. I just realized it right before I got on. Lee Lane, hello, Lee Lane. Okay, let's see here. Marky, hey, Marky. Okay, Lost Legacy. Hello again, Lost Legacy. Oh God, great conversation that was happening here before the stream started, regarding the hellscape we're living in. Let's see here. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? We got Meowzord. Hello, Meowzord. Winterlinde. Hello, Winterlinde. Um, am I missing anyone here? Alan. Okay, fantastic. All right, guys. So, Alan or Meowzord, would you tell me how many people are over there on Twitch? I'm asking folks because pinned at the top of the chat, okay? Robert, okay. Pinned at the top of the chat are three different links. One is a link to buy me a coffee if you want to help support the channel. Okay, thank you, Alan. Another one is a link to our Discord page, which please join if you haven't. It's a great community, and I will do these like pre-stream things where I'll get into the chat, and while I'm making my presentation and stuff, we all chat. Feel free to go over there. Also, I am trying to get monetized over on Twitch. Okay, I need an average of 5 viewers for 4 streams. So if anyone, please, if you don't mind, in the pinned at the top of the chat is a link to Twitch. We have 3 people over there now. Okay. If some of you would not mind making the sacrifice of going over to Twitch for me, there's no ads right now. Okay. There's no ads because I haven't been monetized yet. But I would really appreciate it if we got some more people over there. I only need one more day of an average of 5 viewers. And yeah, as Malzord says, you can thank you, Demosthenes. Thank you, Jazznaz. Okay. Thank you, Jazznaz. Okay. Yeah, just open the stream. You can open the stream on Twitch and mute it and then just watch it here. Thank you. You can see a little thing popped up on there on the screen for people who do end up following on Twitch. Thank you, Jazznaz. Yes, and by the way, folks, if you do go over to Twitch, if you have Amazon Prime, you could subscribe to the channel for free, and it'll give me some of Jeff Bezos's money. So, and it'll be for free for you. So, just requesting that if you guys don't mind. Yeah, that's okay, Lost Legacy. Again, and folks, if you don't have to go over there. I'm just hoping to get at least 5 people over there. Thank you guys. Thank you. Okay, so I can be more monetized over there. Thank you, folks. Okay, so all right. We already got 1 super chat, so I put on the jester hat. If we get, I'll change it here. If we get 2 more, I'll put on the collar, and then if we get to 5, I'll put on the makeup. So I'm going to set it to 5, but 2 more, I'll put on the hat. Let's see here. But that includes if we get 200 bits over on Twitter, that'll count as a super chat. 2 equals collar. Okay. And then what is it? 5 equals makeup. Okay. All right. So we'll do that too. All right. Okay. All right, guys. So this is what we're gonna do. Okay. We have some things to talk about, obviously, as always. Okay. I hope everyone is okay on their Saturday here. We're gonna do a little conversation. About some philosophy real fast, okay? And this will lead into other streams I do. So this will be sort of because I want to do some streams on how to interpret sources and things like that in terms of like when you're on social media. So what I'm going to do here is I'm sorry, I gotta fix this now. There we go, start goal. So, all right. Okay, guys. So this is what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna first talk a little bit about that. It shouldn't take too long. Then, because it's a Saturday, I wanted to talk to the men who are here for the first couple minutes, just about something, and the women here, of course, too. But I think the women will see why I'm specifically talking to the men. Something to do with just some self care, and then also we are also going to. I'm going to do a Myers-Briggs test. Right, Meowsworth. Okay. Uh, So, and then we are going to do some reactions. And of course, I'll be talking about what's going on in the news a bit because it is Saturday. I'm not going to try to overburden you guys too much, but we will talk a little bit about that because the horrors are never ending. Um, okay, so let's begin. Right now, this presentation I'm about to do is going to require a little bit of audience participation. It's okay if you don't, but I'm just saying. I hope some folks will. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about metaphysics and politics. Okay, and I know that's like, what the hell does that mean? Well, you'll find out. Okay. Uh, if I'm getting a vasectomy, take a week off. I'm sure I would if I got a vasectomy. Okay. Though luckily, as a gay man, I don't really have to worry about causing pregnancies. Anyway, I mean, I keep trying, but for somehow it never works. Anyway, so okay, that was dirt. That was disgusting. I know, right, bro? Welcome, bro. Moment. Yeah, I will not ask Aristotle about his political views on slavery. I know, right? Not great. Okay. Okay. I have seen South Park. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this a bit. Okay. So, all right. Again, this is going to require a little bit of audience participation. So let me start with this. Okay. So, how do we know what we know about the world? All right. So, like, how do we actually know about everything around us? Or, like, do we, like, how do we know? How do we know? Um, I'm not really asking this. It's a rhetorical question. I'm not really asking you guys this, but let me give you an example here. Okay. Let me make sure I got what my next. Yeah, you're right. Epistemology right off the bat, raw moment. Okay. Yeah. Lost legacy. You're, okay. Yes. All right. You'll see what I mean here. Okay. So, I'm going to put my face up real fast and then I'll go right back to this. Hello, laws. Hello, welcome, laws. Okay. So let me show you here. Okay. Here in my hand, I have my cell phone. Cell phone. Now, for this purpose, folks, I want you to pretend that we're all in the same room together. We're not. But for what I'm doing here, we're all in the same room together. Okay. How do you know that this cell phone is real? That you're actually seeing a cell phone right now? Someone tell me in chat here. I think Robert said feelings. And I think you were referring to something else, Robert. Okay. But do we what is there a cell phone here and why what do we how do you know it's there? Feelings justified belief, okay. It is not a trick question, Alyssa. It is kind of a trick question, but not really. Okay, lost legacy. It's a physical object that everyone holds. Now, I did ask that as sort of an ambush. So, lost legacy. I'm glad you asked it. Okay. So, are there not people? Rightly, Lane. It could be fake, right? Are there not people evidence? Okay. And Doug, let me go further on that, Doug. What kind of evidence? What kind of evidence would support the notion that there's a cell phone in my hand? All right. So, um, Demosthenes. Yes, visual. Okay, thank you, Alan. So your eyes, right? You would say that one of the ways you could tell, and this also goes with what Meowzord said. You could tell there's a cell phone here because you can see it, right? And then what Demosthenes said, you can feel it, right? You can feel the atoms pushing up against your hand. Now, how do you know that though? Are there not conditions whereby people see things that aren't there? Are there not has anyone here ever had a dream that feels real when you're in the dream? And then after you leave the dream, you realize it was not real. And so I ask again, how do you know that you're actually watching me right now and I am showing you a cell phone? Uh, okay. Hello, Mithril. Hello. Hello, Lane. Past experience, Lane. Um, I know, right? Existential crisis on a Saturday. Correct, Alan. And I'm not mentioning some people's comments because they are way ahead of me, which is good. Yeah, Alyssa. Okay. Okay, you all agreed to accept the things you experience. But Robert, how do you know other people are experiencing the cell phone? The way you know they're experiencing it is that they tell you, right? Which is also interpreted through one of your senses, your ears. And can't your ears lie to you? Right, Laws? Okay, okay. So I know Lee Lane, right? I should be intoxicated too for this. Okay, I should have gotten high before I got on stream. Um, okay, all right. So I am making a point here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hello, London. Okay. Yes, Alan. Okay. Yeah, you guys are getting ahead of me. Okay. Yes, it is bruh moment. Okay. Some of you know the argument that where I'm going with this. Okay. So my point here, folks, is that like we don't actually know. You can never be 100% sure. I know, right, Alyssa? Right? That's my point here is we can never be 100% sure that what we're seeing around us, what we hear, what we feel, what we taste, what we touch is actually real. Okay? I'm not trying to make you all have an existential crisis. You're going to see I'm building up to something here, okay? It is simply a matter of fact that a human being's senses are not great. They can lie to us. I think Lane mentioned our prior experiences, but Lane, I can tell you, Lane, that memories get altered over time. A lot of memories aren't the same from when we first experienced them. Okay. Hello, Dolly Boy. Okay. If I missed anyone who came by, I apologize. Okay. You like exactly Jazz Naz like the Matrix, and you're gonna see that that's part of the philosophy of the Matrix. Okay. So our ability to understand okay. Um, uh, really, you can never be 100% sure. Mithril, I agree with you, right? Mithril says you can never be 100% sure. Try telling that to atheists about the paranormal. Mithril, as an atheist, I can tell you I am not 100% sure. But you can't be 100% sure about anything. Everything is a matter of chance, okay, or a matter of percentage of probability. We can never be 100% sure, okay? So, yeah, our memories aren't great. So okay, I'm going to go back to the stream now that I've said that. All right. So that brings me to this guy here, Rene Descartes. Okay. And he was alive a long time ago and he was extremely important. Okay. For changing the way we think as humans. Okay. Descartes was a metaphysicist. Okay. Metaphysics is the study of what we know, how we know it, what we can know is true, and things like that. Okay. No, Trump failed is not. But that is one theory. Okay. But again, I'm not saying that that's true. You'll see what I mean. I'm building up to something. Okay. So he got very interested. So Europe at the time of Rene Descartes was very much not really thinking. Okay, let me phrase it this way. They were not thinking deeply about the things we can the things we know because it was basically whatever the church uh the Catholic Church said is basically what was reality, okay? And he started thinking, we need to start over here. We need to start thinking, what do we actually know? And use reason and logic to try and figure it out. And he wrote this book called Meditations on First Philosophy, where he laid out his ideas on something called skepticism and radical doubt. Bro Moment, thank you so much, Bro Moment, for the super chat. Thank you. Cogito ergo sum, Bro Moment. You're right. We're about to get to that. Great job. Okay. Um, okay. And yeah, it was right. It was um Dally Boy. Okay, an absolute backwater Europe was. Okay. Um, Mithril, Rene Descartes was a drunken fart. Hops. Okay. Yes, King. Okay. Guys, you are outsmarting me here, and it's frustrating because you're stealing my thunder. Okay. Um, okay. So, all right. So he wrote this book called Meditations on First Philosophy, where he's like, okay, let us just erase everything in our minds we think we know, and let's start from the beginning. Okay. And he laid out what he called he kind of created a radical doubt about humanity's ability to know much of anything. Okay. Bro moment. Hey, I appreciate it, bro moment. I do. Okay. And This became foundation for the development of what was later called the Enlightenment, okay, which was a flourishing of science, knowledge, and alternate ways of thinking about government, religion, and society that happened later. We're not going to talk about that too much today. We're just going to talk about sort of the philosophical aspects, okay? So, again, as I just said, how do we? I'm going off of Descartes here, okay? So this was sort of Descartes' argument. How do we perceive the world? We do it through our 5 senses, right? We don't really it's not like we have sort of an inherent connection to the things around us, right? There is a barrier between us and what exists in reality, and that barrier is our 5 senses, which interprets data from our environment and then transmits it into our brain in a way we can understand, okay? And so those 5 senses, of course, sight, hearing, smell, touch, and taste. And as I just said, folks, um, okay, our senses are fundamentally flawed. We cannot rely on them. I can guarantee you cannot rely on them, right? I'm sure you all know this. We can talk about all the mental health conditions that can cause people to see things that aren't actually there, hear things that aren't actually there. When people lose, for example, Mithra, you're right, it used to be a C. When people, for example, or even feel like things you touch, when you lose an arm, has anyone ever heard of phantom limb syndrome? A lot of people will still feel that they have an arm, even if it's gone, okay? Or when you're dreaming and it feels real. It's not real, but it feels real, right? There are lots of things that can mess with our senses, and this can get even more complicated. If you haven't gotten enough sleep, you can literally start hallucinating, okay? Uh, or if you eat something that's wrong or you have a fever, you can start hallucinating, seeing things that aren't there. And yes, yep, absolutely, Alan. Those dreams where you feel like you're falling, okay? Uh, um, Bro, moment, how dare you? Okay, well, okay, we'll go on here. So you cannot really fully trust your senses. This is Descartes' message, okay? And you never really can. Okay. Um, okay, so let's go on here. So Descartes made the dream argument, which is what I just said, that our senses can fool us. Imagine you're in a dream you believe is real. You find out it's not, but you're certainly convinced while it's happening, right? So our senses can fool us. Another argument he made. So it is one thing. Yeah, Meowser, okay. Has anyone ever had a dream, this is kind of a side note, where their teeth are falling out, or where they're losing their teeth or something like that, or there's a tornado? Those are 2 very common dreams, that have to do with a fear of a loss of control and things like that, okay? Anyway, there's a lot of interesting things about dreams. It's still kind of speculative, but they're interesting, okay? So anyway, uh, so the dream argument, okay? Our senses can fool us. Now then, Descartes went further, okay? Yeah, Descartes went further. Um, Not only can we not trust what we experience through our senses, we also can't trust what we think in our heads, okay? So we can't trust our outside experience, and we can't trust the experience inside of our heads. And this is the reason he said why, okay? And he had something called the evil demon hypothesis, okay? Um, in modern day interpretation of that is the brain in a vat hypothesis or the matrix hypothesis, okay? So, how do you know that you are actually thinking the thoughts you're thinking right now? How do you know that there isn't some sort of evil demon or some sort of computer putting those thoughts into your head for you to think? You don't, do you? Right? You don't. Okay. You don't even know if what your senses are experiencing are real things because your brain interprets it and maybe those thoughts are being put in your brain. And I know this all sounds crazy, that this is what Descartes said, okay? Uh, you can't really even trust your own thoughts. They may be coming from somewhere else, okay? Someone may be putting them in your head, okay? Or something might be putting them into your head, you don't know, okay? So, what we are left with here is a situation of extreme skepticism that Descartes developed. The idea here being that you cannot really fully trust what your brain is doing, you can't fully trust your senses. We can never be 100% sure of anything we're seeing or hearing around us, okay? Or even what we're thinking, all right? So, he went on because if you think of it that way, how do we know we even exist, right? Because we perceive our bodies through our senses. We perceive our thoughts, which can be manipulated if there was some sort of outside source doing it. Okay. We don't know if we even exist. But, but this is where Descartes got famous. Okay. So despite this, one thing can be viewed as certain. Okay. One thing he came to the determination that we can well, there's one thing that we can if we cut back all of the things we think about the world, there's one thing we can be certain about, right? We do have thoughts and we do have perception. Regardless of of where those thoughts come from and regardless of what we are perceiving around us, if it's true or not, we are perceiving something, right? There is something there to do the perceiving, and there is something there that is thinking. Right? I mean, even if the thoughts in your head are not your own, you are still having thoughts, are you not? Okay. So he then came up with this statement, and this is which he said is like the first principle, the principle that all other philosophy should be based off of. Okay. Um, okay. Yes. Uh, Descartes concluded the following. I think, therefore I am. So or cogito ergo sum, as was said someone by earlier in the Latin, okay? The idea that, yeah, we can know that we exist because we think. Regardless of whether those thoughts are ours or not, we can be certain that there is something there thinking. And I would even amend this a bit. Later philosophers did. It's not really we can be certain that we exist as humans. We can be certain that there is something that does exist, that there is something there that is receiving thoughts or has thoughts and can perceive the world, right? We don't know if it's actually like us as humans, but we know there's something there that is receiving the thoughts, right? I mean, it makes sense. Okay. It sounds pretty it sounds like obvious in some ways, but remember, he's saying that that's all we can know for certain is that there is something there that exists. Okay. I believe it, David. I believe. I'm glad you're here, David. I knowing you're more of a philosophy guy than I am. Okay. So I think, therefore, I am. Right now. Now that I've gotten to my point here. By the way, you know what? Thank you, bruh moment. I'm gonna actually put on the collar because you did give send $20, folks. If we get what is it? 3 more? I will put on the makeup, okay? Thank you. Alright. So, yes, Robert, you're speaking my language there. Solipsistic, okay, okay. So, again, so in summary, folks, we can be certain that something exists to receive these thoughts and these experiences, but we can never know 100% that our perceptions of the world are true. Nor can we know that our thoughts are true are our own. Okay. We can never be 100% certain of that. That leaves us with a big problem. Um, there might be, Meowser, there might be a rat underneath my hat controlling us. Okay. So, how can we know anything about the world then? If we can't even be certain that it exists, okay, that our senses are even interpreting anything, um, uh, C. Morales? Yes, I did actually. There I would get some pushback when I did, but I did teach this. I didn't teach it as in depth as I am with all of you right now. When I taught about the Enlightenment at that school I was at, I did teach about it. Okay. So we can never be 100% certain that something exists or is real. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean we can't be 99.9% certain, but it does mean Uh, we can't be 100% certain. You're exactly, Dolly Boy, which I am not gonna go into because it started years of rationalist and empiricist arguing. Okay, so Descartes concluded, right? And later thinkers concluded, I'm not gonna go into it, okay, but, that you can get as close as possible to what the truth is using empiricism, rationalism, and the scientific method, okay? Which is the way that it gets us the closest we can to be understanding what is true. So, let's do another little thought experiment here. All right. And Alan, you're right. Okay. Which I'm actually just about to mention here. So, let's say you have a chair or you see a chair in a room. Okay. Or there's a chair in a room. Our perception of the physical world has to be tested and verified by others. All right. So let me explain. If I see a chair, right, if just I am seeing a chair sitting in a room, I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong. I could be hallucinating. I could be tired. The chair could be a projection that's put there. I could be dreaming. I don't know. Okay. However, let's say 100 people see a chair sitting in a room. That would increase the likelihood of there being a chair in that room, would it not? If there are 1,000 people seeing a chair in a room. Um, you're right, Mithril. You're right. It does. Okay. That is a great critique. Those three methods lead to a mechanistic view of the world, though. No room for other things. You're right. And so I am mainly just highlighting these ideas. And you're going to see here, I'm going to talk a little bit later, sort of about what you're mentioning here, Mithril. Okay. So, okay. So the more people that claim to see the chair, the more likely it is that the chair is there, right? Because it's less likely that everyone is lying or everyone is being misled, right? Uh, all right. Of course, it does get more complicated than that. So, what is a chair, right? So, the people that are looking at the chair would first have to agree upon what a chair is, what makes it a chair, before they all say they see a chair. There might be different cultures, different perceptions that decide a chair is one thing, a chair is another thing, okay? Before they even get to that point. So you have to sort of have an agreed upon language to even do that. And then on top of that, even if 1,000 people see it, how do we know it's not a projection? Okay, or like so it's an illusion. To answer these questions, um, folks, we need to experiment and collect data. So, to ensure it's not a projection, we might need to do some experiments. Does it feel hard when you touch it? That's what she said. Anyway, does it make can when you sit on it, does it disappear? Is there anything else in the room that might be causing the chair to be there? Okay. Um, okay. Uh, right. Okay. So again, like the idea here being that like if you need experimentation and to collect data, and you need multiple people to do this. Does that mean that there's a chair there? No. But it highly increases the chance that it is there. If you can get multiple people experimenting, coming to the same conclusion and having a agreed set of language for it, right? So, now that we've talked about that, okay? So that's what science does. I'm oversimplifying a lot of stuff, folks. Um, Science does experimentation, and those experiments have to be reproducible. So, if one scientist does an experiment and comes to a conclusion, there better be multiple other scientists that are able to come to the same conclusion doing the same method with agreed upon language and things like that. And over time, you get enough scientists doing it, and it becomes pretty clear that you have maybe discovered something. Okay. Now, does that mean that it is 100% certain that it's true? No. But it gets you in closer and closer to 100% to the point where you can basically just believe it's true. Because if it's 99.9% chance of being true, statistically, it's likely it is true. Okay. So This gets even more complicated, okay? Because we're talking about physical sciences here, all right? This gets even more complicated when you talk about the social sciences, okay? Um, okay, let's see here. Okay, right, philosophize the I'm just seeing some of the chats here, folks. Does gravity exist if we've never defined it? We all feel, experience it, but we aren't aware of it or never so, uh, Alan, unfortunately, I'm not a physicist, but there is a lot of evidence out there for gravity, like, as in we've been able to sort of measure it. There's mathematical models for it. We can see its interactions out in space. We can see things moving around, following gravitational models and things like that, kind of, because there's dark matter. It gets complicated, but we do have quite a bit of yeah. So I see what you mean, Alan. Okay. Um, I totally get it, Alan. Okay. So all right. So this gets even harder when you're doing history. Okay, because you typically history is an attempt to reconstruct the past and to apply it to the present. Okay, and politics. When we talk politics, trying doing political science, talking about politics and things like that. Um, okay, so like history relies on written accounts, interviews, things like that, which adds multiple more layers in between the truth and reality of what happened and us, right? Because those documents could be faked. The person in the document could be lying. They could be writing down something they did that they thought they saw, but they didn't actually see. They could be biased. Okay. Do you see what I mean? That history is not a hard science, obviously. It is not really even a science because it is, and it's very, you can't really do experimentation with it either. A lot of it is just interpretation and sort of speculation. So again, this gets complicated. All right. And as I believe Mithril said before, perceiving the world this way, purely mechanistically, leaves out a lot of stuff. This comes to politics, right? What could you do to sort of determine? Well, let me explain here a second. So and politics is even more complicated, right? Because it's mixed up with cultural values, with values we hold dear, and things like that. Um, so to study politics, in order for people to study politics and to develop a political way of thinking, all right, you need to have certain principles and goals that you find right for humanity. But that is largely unscientific. All right, I'm admitting that. In some ways, you need to develop some ideologies, some ways of thinking that are unscientific in order to have a useful political idea about things, right? And I'll explain what I mean here in a second. So, from those principles, your own principles and goals for humanity, you can build and advocate for a system that works to uphold those principles and aims for those goals. Okay, so let me explain what I mean here. All right. So, so I want you all to start thinking about this before I go into the next slide here. What goals what do you think is best for humanity? All right? What goals do you have for humanity, for people, all right, living in a political system? This is not scientific. Empathy. There you go. Okay? If you think that we should operate on a principle of empathy for people, that would be an example. And I will tell you that there isn't really a scientific idea, right? Yes, 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 there is science sort of talking about empathy and stuff, but to have that as a principle is not really scientific. Um, yeah, absolutely, Doug on the left. Okay. Uh, okay. Um, comfort. There we go, Trump failed. Your goal might be for people to be comfortable. Okay. Yeah. There are different, we each need to think about, and a lot of people never think about this. What principles do you believe in? What do you think is best for people? What kind of principles? Okay, what kind of goals do you have for humanity? And how can a political system help achieve those goals? And again, there isn't a lot of folks, will base these ideas off their religious views or off their cultural ideas. Okay. Um, but try to shred that away and really think about how you specifically what you think is best for people. Okay. So let me go to this next page here. Just to give you an example here, if I were to talk about my goal for humans, I think that we should aim for well being. That's a very broad term and it can be interpreted differently, but well being for people, I want them to be healthy. I want them to be not necessarily happy. I want them to be as happy as possible, but I want them to be healthy. I want them to be happy. I want them to feel fulfilled in their lives and be able to do what they enjoy and things like that. Okay, so that would be my goal. Would be if I were to put it in one word, would be human well-being. Okay, what is best for the what political system is best for the well-being of people? All right, um, and when you set a goal, then it does suddenly become possible to use statistics and science and things to see what works to best achieve that goal, right? So if my definition of well-being is healthiness, okay, I can look at statistics and see what policies and stuff are best for the health of people. If my goal is like happiness or whatever, I can look at statistics about what makes people happy and things like that. So you need these goals, right? These sort of your principles, your goals in order to start actually studying it further and making judgments about a political system, right? My principles, okay, one of my principle one of my principles is that I believe freedom enables well-being, all right, in a lot of ways. I cannot I cannot say for sure that that is like fundamentally true. I can think of lots of instances where freedom does not necessarily lead to well-being. But it is a principle of mine that freedom enables well-being, and therefore we should strive for more freedom. And again, it's kind of hard to measure that, right? Uh, one might even say, and I'm don't even like saying this because I am an atheist. One might need to take it on faith, and that again, that might be problematic because that means that there are holes. If you don't have sort of a way to calculate whether that is correct, okay. Hello, Victoria. Okay, so that's another one of my principles. Another one here is I think that egalitarianism promotes well-being. Um, and we can look back at hunter-gatherer societies and see that it does, but you also kind of got to take it on faith. Okay. And I know that's kind of a rough thing for people to hear, especially the lefties in here who are materialists. All right. But again, it's just something to think about. And so I go back to asking all of you, what do you think? What are your principles? What are your goals for humanity? Okay. Exactly, Doug. And this is why it's complicated. Doug says there's an answer for those about freedom. Okay. Insurance companies have the freedom to deny care or individuals' freedom to be free from medical debt. 100%, Doug. And so, you have, and this is why, like, even though you may have these principles, it's important to be nuanced because I don't think that insurance companies should have that freedom. I think it's better for the freedom of the most people if they don't have that freedom to do that. Okay. So, again, folks, take some time at some point. Okay. You don't have to do it now, obviously, but just while you're, doing out things in the world, think about what your principles are. Then apply it to what you think our government, our politics should be doing, what it should look like, appreciating each other, right? Right, Robert? Okay. Um, and yeah, some of those things you believe in might not be based in scientific reality or something like that, okay? It could be something you take on faith. But all right. And yes, there are like you can go out and you can look at anthropology or some scientific studies to see some of these things, but generally speaking, okay? Yeah, yeah, there you go, Alan. Empathy, unity, togetherness. Right. Okay, that's a great one. Um, so just something to think about, okay? And I promise you, if you start doing this, you will be your ability to analyze what's going on in the world will become m- much more acute, much more clear. Okay, a lot of us enter politics without a set understanding of what we want, and we enter politics with an idea of this party good, that party bad, but we don't really think about what our principles are, right? And I can promise you, a lot of the Democrats out there who think that they love the Democratic Party and stuff. I have taught adults before that where when I approach it this way, they suddenly start going, "Wait a minute. What the Democratic Party is doing does not align with my principles." Okay? So, it's just something to think about. Yeah, humanism, a tragic humanism, right, Meowsord? Okay. I call myself a secular humanist. Um, so just something to think about, okay? And remember, as I said previously, we can never be 100% sure of what the reality is out there or the reality of our own thoughts. When you are online, it becomes even more complicated because not only are the people you're seeing talk online on Twitter and things like that, you don't even know who these people are a lot of the time. There are many layers in between you and the reality that they're talking about. And a lot of the crap, for example, on Twitter is just not good information. It is not real. Okay. It is not good information. I've seen this in the days after the Charlie Kirk shooting. So it's also a good way to think about the world when trying to figure out the next things. Okay. Like when you're trying to figure out when you're reading things online, what is true and what's not true. All right. We all got it? Okay. Excellent. Yay. All right. So that's the end of that. All right. There's my little presentation for the day. In 2 weeks, we'll have another Kahoot. All right. And then maybe some skepticism or some crap like this might be on that Kahoot. Okay. So let me go back to my face here. All right. Uh, thank you, Alan. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Looks like a lot of folks liked it. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. That's one of my favorite. I couldn't always teach that when I was teaching high school, but when I was teaching adults, that was one of my favorite lessons to do. Like, a lot of times people would you'd get this look on their face of like, "Oh my god, I've never thought of it that way before." And I'd be like, "Yes, teacher moment." Okay. Um, but it is something to think about, okay? Lee Lane, I am totally relating this to how I raise my children. Goal, raise good people. Principles, kindness, empathy, standing up for others, charity. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Um, that's fantastic. All right. So just be aware of all that. And of course, my addendum here is also be cautious of the information you read online and just out there in public, right? Because not only do we not know if anything exists, there's also layers in between you and reality when there's more people involved in it. Okay. Anyway. All right. Uh, Doug on the left, even worse, 50,000 K medical debt with a 27K salary. Doug, we live in a barbaric country. It is a criminal country that abuses its own citizens, and that is horrifying. And I'm very sorry you're going through that. Um, I'm disgusted. Okay, I'm absolutely disgusted. You guys are gonna make me cry. You know how emotional I get about this stuff. When I hear, oh, I see well, thanks to, yeah, yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure. I think you might be joking there, Doug, but as you know, there are a lot of white people who are massively in debt. But I understand, okay? Okay, so all right, guys. So, um, okay, Meowzord. I have always had this idea that reality starts with two people. If one lone human lives on an island, it's not observable from a human angle. Yeah. Once there are two people to observe one another, it becomes real in a human sense. That's really beautiful, Meowzord. That's really like that. Yeah. We need people to verify, right? We need community. A lot of times reality is constructed communally. It is not constructed individually. And by the way, if it is constructed individually, a lot of times things go wrong because we are social animals. If people who are left alone, like if you're in solitary confinement, will start losing their minds. Or if you are left abandoned somewhere, you don't grow up around people, it can cause some major issues with how you perceive the world because reality is really created communally. Very true there, Meowsord. Okay. All right, guys. So, all right. Next thing here. Um, yeah, oh my god, Alan, we will that's great, okay, thought of a better way to describe my gravity question later. Um, if something happens, but no one's aware of it, did it happen kind of thing, okay? Yeah, And that, by the way, Alan, is still a heavily debated philosophical question in like 101 classes in colleges and stuff like that. If like a tree falls in the forest and it doesn't make a sound, did it happen, etc. Like, yeah, okay. Um, okay, guys. So real fast, thank you all for bearing with me through that, okay? And by the way, I highly recommend if you haven't seen The Matrix, you go and watch it. A lot of the stuff in The Matrix is sort of philosophically linked to skepticism and Descartes' arguments there, okay? So just something to be aware of. Okay. And it's also just a really good badass movie. Man, the graphics still hold up even today because they're so good, okay? All right. So guys, real fast, I just wanted to talk to the men out there really fast. Of course, the women too, of course, but I'm sure many of the women will probably know what I'm talking about first. Okay, so men. Okay, there. Did I come across as straight there? I hope. Okay, so all right, so folks, men, really fast here. There are uh the M word. Okay, I wanted to just a little bit of a public service announcement for men. You really all ought to be putting moisturizer on your faces. Yes, I am literally doing a segment telling all of you that you should be moisturizing. Okay? I know it's weird, but I'm telling you for your health, um, men should be putting moisturizer on their faces, especially when they go out during the day. Okay? This I know, Doug on the left. Okay, I know. And I know there's a lot of ideas of masculinity and stuff kind of caught up in this. So when you go out, even if there is no sun out, right? The sun will destroy your skin. It literally destroys your genetics, okay? And it will result in your skin aging faster. It'll result, uh, right, Dolly boy? I know. Okay, I know. So you all ought to be thank you, Leland. I was gonna mention that, Leland. So when you do put moisturizer on your faces, which I really recommend folks you do, um, you should use and now this is not I am not being paid to do this, okay? I wish I would. If Marlo wants to pay me, you should use a moisturizer that has an SPF on it, okay? Um, okay, SPF as in something to protect your skin from mithril. No mithril because you're still getting ultraviolet light in your eyes, okay? It puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again, right? Right, Demosthenes, okay? So, okay, and I'm not, yeah, it does. It does, folks, and, yeah, Alan, you're right, okay, and, folks, I understand, um, yeah, Victoria, all the women here are, absolutely, yeah, UVA and V block, that's okay, Laws, okay, but man, really, I'm not we because of cultural norms, okay, uh, it is important. We oftentimes men are sort of excluded from conversations about skin health, okay? Women for kind of negative cultural norms, a lot of times it's pushed on women for maintaining patriarchal beauty standards and things like that. But it is one of those beauty standards that actually has the side effect of being very good for women's health, even though it's kind of oppressive. Um, ladies, drop your yeah, that's great. Okay, Meowsword, please, ladies, drop your recommendations for skincare in the Discord, please. Okay, and all you need is a basic moisturizer that has an SPF, and I can tell you it'll reduce the aging in your face. It'll help keep your skin healthier. It'll allow you to it'll prevent skin cancer. It's really good for your health, and I'm just something to think about. And I always it's just something to think about, okay? I'm always standing up for my kings out there, okay? Um, all right. Bah humbug. That's okay, Trump failed. I understand, okay? I understand. Um, okay. So, uh, it's just something to think about. You can also, by the way, you don't have to do this. The main thing is to get a moisturizer with an SPF. You can also use a serum, okay, like one of these, which will kind of moisturize your face and help reduce the appearance of lines and things like that. That is not necessary. That's mainly a beauty thing. It'll also help keep your face moisturized so it's not like flaking. But I do recommend, folks. Um, okay, I do recommend you do facial moisturizer. It's also recommended by dermatologists. I'm not just saying this. I don't care about the beauty aspect of this. It's a health thing. Okay. All right. Okay. That's it. I'm off my soapbox, or should I say my lotion box, trying to promote this for men out there, okay? And I will say, like, yes, I know I'm a gay man. This is gonna sound stereotypical. A lot of gay men do this because of social norms related to gay men being more feminine and the notion that it's okay for gay men to do it. But yeah, it is though. Melanoma is very serious, Doug. Okay. Um, uh, okay. Literally, Dolly Boy, it was just general advice. It's not an ad for these things, okay? I am not sponsored by any of these folks. No one sponsors me, okay? But you can use whatever moisturizers you want. But and I know there is also a material conditions issue with this because it does cost money, but it's just something to recommend. Yeah, you're right. King Low and Alan, I've noticed that Gen Z doesn't care about this stuff nearly as much. Gen Z men, especially. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's it, guys. That's it. Uh, Um, I cordially invite the women back into the chat because I'm a misogynist pig. Okay, no, but okay. Anyway, that's it. Just something I wanted to recommend out there. Um, when I was actually teaching, I would tell that to my male students. I would be like, "Hey guys, you all should wear moisturizer on your faces and your skin and stuff to protect you from the sun." But anyway, okay, yeah, it does, Leland. Staying hydrated does also help I know, Leland. I'm just being an ass, okay? Helps your skin stay hydrated and stuff, okay? Anyway, all right, enough of that. Oh, no, I get it, Mithril. Now, Mithril, there are multiple different, obviously, brands of moisturizers. Some of them are less oily than others. Because, I have glasses too, so I had to find a facial moisturizer that wasn't that way so that my glasses wouldn't slide off. Um, yeah, Alyssa, I get it. I get it. Alyssa's trying to get her husband to wear it. He's a welder, and his skin is so flaky from drying out. Yeah, yeah. Okay, especially if you work outdoors, folks. You really ought to do that. Just for your health. I don't care about the beauty aspect. Okay, I'm just saying for the health. Okay. Anyway, all right, guys. Um, let's see here. Meowzord. My favorite is when red pill men say, like, wait, you clean your butt? Isn't touching your butt gay? Yeah, I know, right, Meowzord? That's another thing, folks. I highly recommend everyone get a bidet. Okay. Because especially in the United States, and this isn't just the United States, there's a lot of countries that don't use bidets. And other cultures kind of view it as gross. Like you just use toilet paper down there. You don't use water. You just kind of smear it around down there. Uh, yeah, you're right, Doug, on the left, okay? So just something to think about, folks, okay? Um, okay, but anyway, you don't have to use a bidet, but, also, weirdly enough, the toilet paper industry has really heavily tried to prevent bidets from coming to the United States. Okay. Yeah, Mithril, perfect, okay? Alyssa, I used to work in a shipyard. I know you're not talking to me, Mithril, but it's great. I used to work in a shipyard, and almost all the welders went bald due to not covering their heads, okay? Demosthenes, best pro bidet thing I've seen was a guy putting peanut butter on his arm and trying to clean it with tea. Yep, exactly. That's gross, Demosthenes, but true, okay? And we have a lot of weird cultural norms. Men don't like that idea. A lot of men, I'm not saying the men here, I'm just saying a lot of men, think it's like gross. You like spraying water on your butt, like, and they think it's like a gay thing, but it is just a cleanliness thing. It really is. Um, okay. Uh, yeah, you're right. Tushy is cheap too, but bidets are very accessible. Okay. I'm also talking to women here too. I keep talking about men, but for bidets, men and women, bidets are really much cleaner, healthier and things like that. Uh, right there you go. Okay, right now, Zorda, kind of gay, but it feels good too. Feels good, man, right? Okay, guys, that's it. I just wanted to do that little public service announcement. You also you're if you do the skin cream, guys, you're like your faces will feel better. Like you'll feel it's weird. You almost feel like less congested up there. It's hard to describe, but anyway, just something I recommend. Okay, all right, guys. All right. Um, so there's my note there. Uh, okay. So, all right, guys, we got some other things I want to talk about. By the way, folks, if we get 3 more super chats, I think of $2 or more, I will put on the jester makeup. And folks that are over on Twitch, you can also send me bits. If you send 200 bits, it'll count as a super chat. And for those that are here now, if you'd like to, I'm trying to get more people over on Twitch so I can get monetized quicker. Pinned at the top of the chat is a link to my Twitch page. Um, uh, uh, the Twitch page over there. If you can go over there and subscribe. If you subscribe to my channel, if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free, and then you will send me some of Jeff Bezos's money. Just kind of doing some personal promotion there. Yeah, thank you, Jazznaz. Yes, please like the stream if you're on YouTube, and follow me if you're on Twitch, and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Okay. All right. Also, if you want to become a member, you can on YouTube also for as little as 99 cents a month. You get access to a bunch of cute little emojis and as well as that cute little jester hat next to your name, such as Alyssa and Trump failed. Okay. All right. And you can also subscribe. If you subscribe over on Twitch too, you also will get that jester hat next to your name. Okay. All right, guys. So let's move on. Okay, let's move on. We have some things I want to one thing I want to do here, folks, before I go into the Discord reactions is, has anyone here, I'm going to actually ask this question. Bye-bye, Alyssa. Thank you for the super chat, Alyssa. Bye-bye. Good luck at work, Alyssa. We all love you, Alyssa. Okay. At least I love you, Alyssa. I don't know if everyone else here does. I'm hoping, but okay. Anyway. Okay, so I'm going to put a post, I'm going to put a, for those that are on YouTube, okay, I'm going to start a poll here. Who here has taken has taken the Myers-Briggs personality test? Okay. Start poll. So just say yes if you have, no if you haven't. And again, all people on Twitch probably won't be able to see this. Okay. Love me, guys. Okay, listen. Yes, okay. I think most of you probably have. It's pretty popular. Okay, a lot of you have. I will post a link to it. I'm gonna take it right now on stream. It's been a long time since I've taken one, but I thought it would lead to some interesting conversation. So I'm going to, and then right after that, folks, it shouldn't take too long. Then I will do the reactions. Okay, I will post it in chat here. Everyone, if you want to take it at the same time, I recommend it. It is not exactly. It is not King Low. So Alan, it is a it places your personality in a category that kind of says something about you, okay? It is not necessarily very scientific, okay? It is not no, it's for anyone, okay? It is for anyone. It is for anyone of any culture. The Myers-Briggs test. The Myers-Briggs were psychologists who kind of categorized different kinds of personalities into, and forget how many types there are. How many are there? There are multiple personality types that they divided people into, and you can take it, and it'll tell you what they would rank your personality type is, and it's just kind of a fun thing to do. It is not necessarily um, the most scientific thing, but it is. There is some science, not much. Yeah, exactly, Louise. It'll give you 4 letters, about your personality, okay? So if anyone else wants to take it while I'm doing it, I'm gonna put it here. So, this is what the link I sent you here, okay? And, it's an interesting way of kind of just looking at yourself. Again, don't take it too seriously. And then there you can actually look up online. There's a lot of research on people who have been categorized as different personalities and some of the ways they interact with the world, some of the, people that might be good for them to date, okay? Some of the jobs they might be good at doing. But again, it's not perfect, but it's an interesting thing to do, okay? All right, so let's do this. I'm going to start it here. So the first question it asks, if anyone else wants to do it, please let me know what your results are if you'd like, okay? You tend to have a strong tendency to see things as either good or bad. Well, not really. I would say soft no there. Yeah, Lane. Sometimes they will employers will make you take this test, They shouldn't because it's not particularly good at figuring this stuff out, but, it can be kinda helpful for employers. I'm gonna put move oops, I'm gonna move, the chat over here so you guys can see the questions. Um, alright, there we go. Okay, so, you work through problems by yourself and detach yourself from other people to arrive at a conclusion. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Well, not a strong yes, but I do kinda detach. Um, you easily recognize internal bodily sensations and act to suit your body's needs. Not really. I will, like, forget to eat and things like that, so no. You trust hard facts and data more than anything else. 100%. I'm very that way. Okay. You may be viewed as selfish or self-centered. You may be viewed as selfish or self-centered. Um, I'm gonna do neutral on that one. I think, yeah, I'm sure I can, but I don't think it's like any particular yes or no there. You often use metaphors to communicate new ideas. Yep, I do. If anyone hasn't noticed. Okay. Uh, how many questions are here? Okay, there's about oof, oof, oof. Maybe I should have chosen a shorter one. We'll get through it fast. I'll go through quickly though, so let's just do this real fast. You may be viewed as meddling or controlling to others. I don't think so. I think I might be too passive sometimes. You are described as stuck in your ways. Nope. You may be described as ditzy or scatterbrained. Yep, 100% very ditzy and scatterbrained. Clumsy as fuck, okay? Jesus Christ. I break everything. I always I'm very clumsy. But for those who have ADHD, that's kind of a symptom there of that, okay? Um, you imagine things that aren't directly, connected to the real world. Yeah, I mean, I like fantasy stuff. You are extremely objective and tell it as it is. Yeah, generally. You sometimes fail to adapt to new data because it is not consistent with your personal understanding of idea. No! If the data changes, I too must change, okay? You cannot help but get hung up on small details. Nope, I'm actually not a great at small details, okay? Not great at small details. Okay. Oh, yeah, the 16 personalities test, that is a different one. You're right, Louise, okay? Yeah, that's perfect, Louise. Yeah, you were rated as a counsel. That's fantastic. You try to help people to the point where you begin to forget taking care of your own needs. Yeah, sometimes. You often feel awkward and aimless during leisure time. Yep. You have trouble communicating with those who do. Well, no, not really. I'm going to say no to that one because I don't feel that awkward. Trump failed. I doubt it. Okay. I doubt you'll be considered an asshole. Okay. No, no, anyway. Um, Naz Jazz, don't hear about Trump's test anymore. Probably because he keeps forgetting about what he's been. That's true, Jazz Naz. Okay. You have trouble communicating with those who do not think like you. Ooh. I'll put neutral on that. Sometimes I can, but I don't know. Okay. You generally work through problems with others and involve yourself with other people to arrive at a conclusion. Yeah, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. Well, no, no, I don't really. I kind of like coming to my own conclusion. You would question anything. Yep. You just know things without being able to consciously put them into words. Uh, no. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, okay, you may start many different projects, but finish few. 100%. I am very bad at that. I will start projects and not finish them. You greatly value tradition and duty. Nope. Don't give a shit. Okay. Okay. You are unnerved by uncertainty and the unknown. Nope, I am not unnerved by it. Oz, congratulations. Oz was at a protest. Great job. Our hero Oz here. Fantastic. Okay. You may be viewed as fake or manipulative to others. I don't think so. Um, you have an uncanny ability to recognize others' needs. Yeah, I kind of do. I see now I sound like an arrogant asshole doing this in front of all of you. You become stubborn and resolute in the face of opposition when it comes to your personal beliefs. Yeah, kinda. You see the big picture in a sea of details. Yep. You find it difficult to concentrate on a single subject. Kind of. No, not really. I'll say no. You feel as though your insights often go misunderstood. Not really. You are an excellent problem solver and have an incredible ability to analyze things in depth. Yeah. You thrive on new and exciting experiences. Yep. You understand a concept by logically recognizing and drawing patterns between different already known concepts. Yeah. Okay. Um, oh, thank you, Oz. That's very nice of you. Thank you. I try to be yeah. Thank you, Oz, for saying that. Okay. You are drawn towards the abstract and often obsess over meanings. Oh my God, yes, I do. I just gave a presentation on that. Thank you, Oz. You're right. I should live fear of fear and shame. That is for sure. Okay. You explore things in depth for purely for purely the sake of exploring them in depth. Oh God, yes. Anyone ever been in a Wikipedia hole where you just like start going on Wikipedia and you end up like pages away from where you started? You live in the present, not in the past or future. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means, but I live a lot in the past because of history. You relate present experiences to past experiences. Yep. You modify internal logical frameworks to account for new data. You sometimes find yourself reevaluating them when new data isn't incompatible with them. Yep, yep, yep. You prefer living in your dreams to living in the real world. Oh, Jesus. Uh, yeah, I do kinda. I do. Especially with how things are now. It's kinda nice to live in the dream world or in the fantasy world. Okay. You exude charisma and are usually viewed as charming by others. I think so. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, the 6 degrees of Wikipedia, right? Okay. You see the world as a bundle of possibilities waiting to be explored. Yeah, absolutely. You see so many possibilities that you have trouble committing to a single one. Yeah, I do. You are skilled at recognizing whether the details in front of you match what you are used to. Yep. You are able to manipulate conversations by reading others' body language. Not really. I sometimes have trouble reading people. Um, I can be empathetic, but I have trouble reading people a lot of the time. You can easily think of something random to say. Oh God, yes. That's all I do is say random things. You often use analogies and similes to communicate new ideas. Yep. You absorb information from the outside world without additional processing. Yeah, I mean, I do also do additional processing, but okay. You consider yourself a practical and realistic person, free from imagination. Nope. I'm actually not very practical in a lot of ways. That's a side note there. You stay true to yourself. I try to. Yeah. I'd say I do. You may be viewed as whiny and or depressive. Probably, yeah. I'm gonna put yes there because I am depressive. No, I'll put neutral there. I don't know if I'm viewed that way, but I can be kind of depressive. You place a great amount of trust in the mysterious and unconscious world. No, I'm not sure what that means. I don't think I do. You find yourself agreeing with those who claim that the ends justify the means. Ooh, I'm gonna go neutral on that. It depends. You are attracted to symbolism, mysticism, and the unknown. Uh, also, yes, but not really mysticism. I'll say no then. Okay, you have a strict internal moral code that comes from within, regardless of external standards. Uh, yeah, kind of. Well, nah, yeah, kind of. You are hesitant to strictly conform to social rules. Oh, 100%. Look, I'm wearing nail polish and shit. Okay. You follow a consistent routine. Nope. Unfortunately, I need to be better at that. You tend to express sympathy only after you empathize with someone. Yeah, I guess. You take on subjects with a burning interest only to drop them once they no longer feel new to you. Yeah, sometimes. How are folks doing out there? Oh, Meowzord, you got ENTP. Fantastic. So that means extroverted, intuitive, what's that other one? Thinking and perceiving. I believe that's what that means. You got the Riz there, Meowzord. That means you must be pretty extroverted, okay? All right. You are often the first to react to a question. Yeah, You frequently have hunches or insights about the future that turn out to be correct. Oh my God. See, again, I feel like I'm doing self-aggrandizement here. Demosthenes, INFP. I suspect that's what I'll get, Demosthenes. I tend to get INFP or INTP. All right. So I do typically have hunches about the future that end up being correct. I'm not trying to be self-aggrandizing, but it does happen. You constantly set yourself on goals and objectives. Yeah. Yeah. Fake people bother you. Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, fake people drive me insane. Not because I don't like fake people, but I just want them to feel comfortable enough to be themselves around me. Okay. You have an and I feel bad for them that they don't feel they can be themselves. You have an excellent sense of direction and instantly know your way around a new place. Yeah. You express yourself honestly and authentically. Yeah. You feel as though sometimes too honestly, okay? You feel as though you are one of the only truly nice people left in this world. No, there's lots of other nice people out there. ENFP mithril, if you look it up, I think that means you're extroverted, intuitive, feeling and perceiving. There should be if you look it up what it means, if you like type it into Google, it'll tell you what that's categorized as. You rely only on past experiences to guide yourself through the present. Nope. You always try to communicate tactfully with people. Yeah. You're fiercely individualistic and pride yourself on your uniqueness. Yeah, yeah, kind of. You are blunt and straight to the point in communication. I don't know if I'm blunt. I maybe sometimes I beat around the bush. I'll go neutral on that one. You are a brainstormer. You offer a multitude of different ideas in a given situation. Yep. You often arrive at conclusions that seem to come out of nowhere. You relate to realizing answers. Yeah, you would no, not really, actually. You would rather sugarcoat a problem than upset someone. Nope. You feel a strong sense of unity when communicating with others in a group. Yeah, yeah. You streamline existing systems for the sake of efficiency and productivity. Sometimes, not really. Oh, I got you, Goose. My mistake, Goose. So Goose says, by the way, if you go by cognitive functions, ENFP is NFTC, mithril, social extroversion isn't the same as cognitive. I got you, Goose. So this is all about that makes sense. Thank you, Goose. Okay. Easily sympathize with other struggles. Oh, 100%. And by the way, thank you, Moose, for recommending this version. Okay. This was Moose who recommended that I do this version. You have been consistently logical throughout your life. Yeah. Generally, you would prefer a solution be thorough before putting it into action. Yep. You are aware of your surround. Well, no, I'll go neutral on that. You are aware of your surroundings and aren't likely to miss something right in front of you. Oh, not really. No, I'm pretty unaware of my surroundings a lot of the time. Okay, you value inclusion and try your best to involve everyone. Yep. You dislike change. No, I like change. I think it's exciting. It's thrilling. Now, if it's bad change, no, I don't like it, but okay. You believe that arriving at truth is more important than winning an argument. Yep. You consider yourself an organized person and take control of situations. Nope. Very not organized. Ugh, okay. You would do whatever it takes to win a debate. Nah, not really. I don't really care enough. You are drawn to the new novel and original. Yep. You have an eye for aesthetics and enjoy the finer things in life. Yeah. You may be seen as reckless and unknowingly hurt those around you. Not really. I don't. Well, yeah, sometimes because I'm clumsy. You become. I'm almost done here, folks. By the way, we're almost to the end here, so please bear with me here. You become upset when your care for others goes unappreciated. Not really. You like to organize things for pleasure. No, I'm very disorganized. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I know, Mithril. I do drive. I'm actually a very good driver. But like if I'm not focused on something, then it's like it doesn't exist. So if I'm driving, I am focused on it. But yeah, okay. You are a risk taker. Yeah, yeah. You greatly value social harmony and will often go out of your way to try and maintain it. Yeah. You have a tendency to go off topic in conversation. What do you all say, folks? Yes, I definitely do. You rely on external sources to support your argument. Yep. You value truth and logic more than anything else. Yeah, probably. Yeah. You believe your presence is greatly felt in a room. No, no, I don't think so. You have trouble communicating your ideas with people. Not really, no. You come up with internal logical frameworks, theories, and systems to describe the world around you. Kind of, yeah. You place a lot of value in on details and past experience. Neutral. Uh, yeah, me too, right, Meowsord? Oh, I don't know. Okay, Alan, does it not say which one you got? I'll see what happens when I finish mine. I can help you. You live in the here and now. Not really. Okay. All right. Nope. Aged. Okay. Okay. Submit results. All right. So what did I get? I got so so Alan, if you go down here, it'll say it. Uh right here. ENTP is what I got. Um I'm not really that extroverted, but that's okay. So or I say extroverted intuition. Okay. So that what does that mean? Now if I look up what that means, so if I were to go to what is an ENTP? What is ENTP? Oh, okay, an innovator or a debater. Okay, that makes sense. Or is it, ENTP cognitive type? Cognitive type, just to see, so what does it mean? So, extroverted intuition, seeking possibilities and making connections, applying logic and analyzing information, connecting with others emotionally, and, past yeah, okay, yep, that does sound pretty close. Okay, interesting. Alright. Um, hey, then you are just like me, Alan, and Meowsword and I are the same. Louise, thank you, Goose, thank you, okay. ISTP, Louise, an ISTP, the craftsman, flexible and observant. ISTPs are pragmatic problem solvers who live in the moment. Fantastic. Okay. Uh, okay, INTP. Oh, Lee Lane, see, that's what I normally get. I normally get a TP. Um, uh, Introverted, sensing, thinking, and perceiving, or F. Sometimes you get INT assign INTF, but yeah. Um, I'm actually surprised I didn't come out with introverted cognition because I do like to think a lot. Okay. All right, folks. So that was just kind of a fun thing to do here. It's just something to think about. You can, if you look up online, there'll be like studies on various typologies and how they interact with people and things like that. Okay. Just a little fun Saturday thing for us to do together. All right. I'm going to go back. Oops. I'm going to go back to my face here. But Leland, I'll tell you, I'm not surprised because a lot of mathematicians I know are introverted cognitively. Um, oh my God, Demosthenes, I totally see that. I totally see that for you, Demosthenes, a mediator, 100%. That sounds like you, Demosthenes. Uh, okay. Um, uh, do you feel like you overcompensated for your extroversion? Yeah, Meowsword, 100%, 100%. And I think Meowsword, a lot of it might be masking because of the ADHD. Trying to appear extroverted when, wanting to be introverted, if that makes sense. Yeah, exactly, Meowsword. It is so exhausting for me to be extroverted for long periods of time. I will go home and literally just fall asleep. It's exhausting. Um, I'm sorry, Meowsword. Okay, I hope everyone's having fun here, okay? Okay, so there we go. So that was a cute little thing to do there for a Saturday. And now we have some things to react to. ENTP, Doug, fantastic. A lot of us are ENTP. Uh, okay. All right. Back to my face screen here. So, but thank you everyone for bearing with me there. I know that may have been a bit boring to sit through, but it was just kind of fun. Oh, no, LOL. I just meant I can mask as life, as life. Yeah, me, no, me too, Meowsword. Uh, no, me too. That's what I was like. That's like kind of what I'm saying too. Is I try to mask being the life of the party and stuff, but it's exhausting for me. And a lot of people with ADHD do that. A lot of people with cognitive things do masking. Um, I think if that's what you mean, Meowsword, if that's what you meant. Okay, okay, okay. So, folks, all right. If we get if we get two more super chats, I'll put on the makeup. Okay, put on the makeup a little bit, and then if we get to 10, which is, I guess, what, 7 from this, I'll stream for an extra hour. Okay, folks. So let's do some reactions here. I have some things pulled up here that were left on Discord. Let me know if it's you that posted it. I didn't write down who posted these. The other thing too, folks, is we are going to be doing. I'm going to be talking about the issues with free speech next week during one of the this week. I get. No, yeah, next week. Sometime during the week. But free speech is under attack all over the United States right now. As I said previously, it has caused Charlie Kirk shooting has caused a major crackdown and backlash, as has happened historically. Um, it's kind of scary. I'm not going to go into it too much today because it is Saturday, and I felt like I kind of darkened the stream yesterday by talking about how to resist fascism. But it's something to keep an eye out for. We also have a bunch of international things happening that are rather unfortunate. See, I'm trying to phrase it nicely because it is a Saturday here. In regards to alliances being formed, you know what? Maybe we will do that, Alan. Maybe Fidel Castro next week. Alliances being formed in the Middle East, issues going on with Venezuela, Russia flexing its muscles by flying jets over Estonia and drones over Poland and Romania and such, trying to test the waters and mess with NATO. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. For now, though, I'm just going to go through these. If we have time after this, maybe I'll talk about some of those things more, but I will definitely talk about it tomorrow and through the week. Okay. All right. So let's do this. Yeah, Candace Owens compared to William Hannibal Thomas. Kittens, puppies, and farm animals. Right, Michael. No, with these might still be kind of dark, but I did say yesterday that it would be a chill stream, and then I got into some anti-fascism stuff. But that's the other thing too. We need to talk about the designation of anti-fascism as a terrorist organization, which is very disturbing because that opens the door for lots of people who just are ideologically anti-fascist, since anti-fascism isn't an organization, to be suppressed and arrested and things like that. We got a lot of bad things happening. Though I suspect many of you already know these things, and because you already know it, and I'm not really a news reporter, I'm assuming you've all heard about it. I will talk about it more in depth tomorrow, but there is a lot to talk about, so just be aware. Okay, a lot going on. All right, so let's watch some of these things here that were posted in Discord. Here we got this one. This one is I don't know what this one is. This one is about voting, I guess. It's about whether or not we should vote. Let's see what he has to say. I'm going to make sure it's turned up. Okay. All right, everyone. Let me make sure you can all hear me, etc. All right, let's go. Let's see how it goes.
Lose my marbles, whatever you want to say it, because I need people to understand one thing. We are not going to vote these people out. It's not going to happen. It's never happened. In world history, there have been zero, count it, zero, goose fucking egg instances of fascist governments actually being democratically removed from office. It's never happened. Go ahead, look it up. Well,
I hate to do this to him. It is true that there haven't been fascist governments that are voted out, but authoritarian governments have been voted out. I can give you an example from Chile in South America. What was his name? Oh my God, now I can't think of his name. Someone remind me in chat. The dictator from Chile, Pinochet, Augusto Pinochet. Okay, was voted out democratically. So it is possible to vote out authoritarians, though it takes a lot of luck because Pinochet allowed the election and he thought he would win. But it is possible to vote out authoritarians. Fascists, it could be possible, but it's not. It hasn't been done previously. Let's put it that way. That doesn't mean it can't be done in the future. And again, I'm not. We'll see what else he says.
actually, me, all you want. I know more than you. Okay? If you look it up, what you'll find is that there is one instance in world history where you could almost make the argument that it happened, but it's still incorrect. And that would be Finland in the 1930s. In Finland, what happened was there was an attempted military coup. Some members of that coup actually broke off and ruined the whole thing practically. And then the government marginalized that fascist movement to the point where they had no power. Okay, what happened in the United States is a sort of like warped timeline where a coup did almost happen and successfully occur, which was January 6th, but instead we didn't marginalize the movement. Once a fascist government takes power in all of world history, since that ideology was formalized in Italy in the late 19-teens and early 1920s, every single time that they take state power, do you know what actually removes them? Catastrophe.
Okay, I will say he's right. Okay, so he's right partially here. I think I've mentioned this before in chat. One of the hopes, or I've mentioned this before on stream, one of the hopes we have, and it's not necessarily a good thing, is that right now the economy is in a pile of shit. Okay. Successful fascist movements typically do some things that help alleviate the material conditions of people in their country, which helps get them popular. All right. They don't believe in helping people, but they do some things that help benefit, or at least give the appearance that things are better. All right. Trump hasn't done that. Okay, things are getting worse, and if things get bad enough economically, when people are suffering economically, a lot of times it can knock them out. It can knock them out of their days. Um. Okay. So, other forms of mass suffering can knock people out of their fascist days. For example, the bombing of Germany in World War II really convinced a lot of Germans that this is not worth it. All the destruction Hitler has brought upon us, Japan, same way, Italy, same way. So mass catastrophe can oftentimes result in the end of a fascist regime. I'm not necessarily looking forward to what kind of catastrophe might happen here that would do that, but again, he is right about that.
Catastrophe, mostly war. Okay. Sometimes it becomes that even the military doesn't want to like deal with the regime anymore, so they overthrow them. That's happened before. And sometimes it's that.
Exactly, King Alan, and that's one of the issues too. It would have to be a lot of it would have to be like even the the middle class, the upper middle class and stuff also. So it would have to be a lot of people suffering for it to work. Yeah, Lee Lane. Yeah, exactly. Like no taxes on tips. And you notice like he said he would do that, and he did, but it was very weak. So it didn't really help people. He did give the illusion of it, but if people start, yeah, you're right, Lee Lane. So but if people were to start actually suffering economically more under him, that could knock them. That could kind of knock them out of their cult-like obsession with Trump. It would not be good for all. It would not be good for all of us for that to happen. But that is something I think about. Is if the economy does collapse, and right now it's not looking good. That might be a saving grace, I guess you could say.
Foreign governments who are allied with that regime get really sick of how unstable and unreliable they are, and so they kind of foment popular uprisings. But most of the time, it's war. War makes it so untenable that the regime collapses in on itself. Okay, we need to just be prepared for that. When I talk about elections on this channel, it's aspirational. It's because I believe that we need to hold the spirit of democracy and practice it often and be informed often about democracy and how it works and how it should look. Because we need something to hold on to as we move through these woods. But voting by itself is not going to do anything. It will be much more like what happens in Russia, where voting happens, elections happen, there's election nights, there's all this big hullabaloo. But the result is kind of predetermined. It's that the party in power stays in power. I mean, this is what happens in Russia with United Russia. And trust me, the value of the election, the value of the voting right now is going to be that when somebody loses that should then get out of office and they don't, it agitates you into wanting to do something else. Okay, that's where we're at. I need everyone to be very clear. History is not on your side if you think America is going to American exceptionalism its way out of this one. It is not.
That's true.
It is not. We are not so special that we are going to be that sacred one. I promise you. I promise you, promise you, promise you. Okay? It is not on our side. We need to be prepared for the reality that the value of partaking in these elections is that we are simply practicing democracy in spirit. But in action, I'm telling you, they're not going to let a bunch of fucking ballots tell them anything. Promise you that.
So, okay, I actually largely agree with him here. However, I will say, folks, you can vote and also do other forms of resistance, okay? Because we can't
Like
afford.
this.
Oh, Jesus, who's that monster on the screen? Okay, anyway, you can vote. We can't afford to leave out any means of changing things. So, yeah, you can vote and you can do nonviolent resistance, okay? And I recommend that people do both. But what we definitely need is nonviolent resistance. Okay, if we really want to change things before the next, before we're only like 9 months in his presidency. If you really want to change things before the next presidential election, we need nonviolent resistance, and we need it en masse. Um, okay, so that is, I do agree with him there, but that doesn't mean that voting isn't also important. Okay, because we also need control of Congress back. We and so there, okay. Yeah, that's true, Doug. On the left, protests are a fun way of resistance. Okay, I advocate for a national strike, folks. Okay, I don't care if it's illegal. I'm not saying we should do it. I'm just saying historically, national strikes are very useful. If everyone just stops working, what can they do about it? Okay, anyway, just something to think about, and you get some days off work. Panda Bear, hello. I can't help but think them sending military into cities is preparing, practicing, and normalizing them being sent into. Panda, I agree with you. Okay. I don't know if it's specifically for the elections, but it is definitely preparing, or it is a tepid step of further authoritarianism. Let's put it that way. And I will say, Panda Bear, I said this yesterday, but Trump's actions recently in response to Charlie Kirk and in response to and the fact that he decided not to send troops into Chicago actually illustrate that he's pretty weak right now. That is not the action of a strong government. The fact that he ended up not sending them into Chicago and the fact that he's trying to silence speech is a sign of worry on his end. Does that mean he's not a threat? No, okay, not at all. It could also mean that he's going to crack down even more to make sure he has a strong regime. But that also means that now would be the time to push back, okay? Because he's showing weakness to an extent. The state is displaying some level of weakness in how they're behaving, which is interesting. Yeah, you're right, Demosthenes. Cornered animal is very yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Robert, right? You fascism denier, that's illegal. Alan, we talked about Dems fighting. One of the progressives from the playlist I sent, Kat uh, Abu Ghazali, was thrown to the ground at an ICE protest, and it's getting played on Fox social media. Free PR. That's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. Thank you for telling me, Alan. We'll watch it at some point, Alan. Okay, so just be aware of that. The regime is showing its weakness right now. And if we don't push back on some of the things they're doing now, they will be encouraged to take further actions. Okay. Um, because it's almost like they're testing the waters. All right. Okay. Next one here. Thank you for whoever sent that. I'm not sure who sent that, but thank you for that. This is okay. I know who was it that sent this to me? I'm gonna go. I think it was Big Braden that sent this to me. I don't know if Big Braden is here. But I'm gonna go actually forward because Big Braden told me to watch when Destiny came on stream. So I'm gonna go to when Destiny comes in. Um, okay. So I have not watched this, but I've heard that it gets kind of rowdy. Let's put it that way. And by the way, folks, I know there's some folks here in chat that are okay with Destiny. I can't stand him. I just can't stand him. I know some of his arguments are okay. He, how do I put this? I mean, I know a lot of folks here, they may disagree with some of what he says, obviously, but I just can't stand his approach to almost anything. I don't know why. Um, I think he makes the left. I mean, even though he's a liberal, he's not a left winger. Um, yeah, thank you, Alan. Like he's not but he makes the left look bad, even though he's not on the left. He also makes liberals look bad, which I'm okay with. Um, nope, they haven't. They haven't, Robert. Um, and I'm not even going to mention that, Robert. But you're right. There are some allegations against him. I'm going to ignore that for now, just because I'll see what the argument is here that he makes. Um, yeah, you're right, Jazz Naz. Okay, so I just don't like Destiny. I think he's kind of scummy. I think let's put it this way. I think he's very bad at doing PR. Okay. Yeah, let's put it that way. I think he's bad for the left side of the country in a lot of ways. And he's just an asshole. Okay, in a lot of ways too. He reminds me, okay, how do I phrase this, folks? He reminds me of some of my teenage students when I had teenage students, for the teenagers that are in chat, not all of you are that way, but like you've met a teenager whose brain isn't really fully developed, and just kind of starts yelling, and refusing to interpret what people are saying. That's what it reminds me of, and it's kind of triggering for me. Let's put it that way. Doug on the left, he's brash like Jank and doesn't give himself the opportunity to think. Yeah, and he doesn't really know how to communicate well with people. Um, okay. But that being said, folks, I know some people like what he did. Not everything he says is wrong. It's almost like a bias. I'm revealing my bias beforehand. Let's put it that way. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Oz. Okay. Um, okay. Yeah, you're right. No, Alan, you're right. And here's Anna Kasparian, who she is a very good journalist. But for those who are up to date on what's going on at TYT, she's kind of moved over to the right a bit. She is still left in a lot of economic ways. I don't really know how to interpret her anymore, but I suspect that anyway. I don't know. I agree with her a lot of the time. Other times, I really disagree with her. Um, okay. Let's see here. Let's see here what this is about. Big Brain, are you here? Are you here, Big Brain? If you're not, it's okay. I'm just curious. Yeah, you're right, Doug. She said she left the left, and she seemed to be judging the entire left based off some bad experiences she had, which to me was kind of weak rationale. Like, don't you? I mean, aren't you able to think for yourself and realize that an anecdotal evidence does not indicate all people are that way? But again, I think she had some sort of trauma. Anyway, so let's see here what this is about.
Been quite active on social media since Charlie Kirk's death. When Erica Kirk posted Charlie's coffin, you responded, she tagged him, brackets, crying face emojis. In response to Alina Haber's tweet ordering people to fly their flags at half-mast in memory of Charlie, you posted on X, buying flags and poles just to fly them fully erect. And you then posted yesterday, ending every Conservative debate call out I'd do in 2026 with "Don't dodge, bro." That's not what Charlie would have wanted. I mean, do you think that your response to the cold-blooded murder of Charlie Kirk has been appropriate?
Yes, I think.
Okay, to begin with, before even let me read what some of the folks said in chat here. Don't like it when people call me a birthing person. Nobody has called her that. Yeah, you know what, Doug? Let's say someone did call her a birthing person. Is she so brittle that like upended her whole life in the perception of the left? It's weird to me, and it makes me think. I know more happened too. Like I know that someone overdosed on the doorstep of her house or something like that. But she's also a very privileged person, and I can't help but think it's easy for her to change her mind on these things because she's not materially affected by how much people are suffering in this country, as the rest of us are. Um, yeah, you're right, Robert. She did. She married I don't know how wealthy he is, but she did marry a baseball player. He seems like a really nice guy, I will say. Okay. Uh, Yeah, you're right. She does. She has voiced her displeasure about her pay. Um, I mean, yeah, I don't even know what to say about that, Doug. Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's continue.
That the only
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this. I also hate the framing. Piers Morgan, he's recently he's been better about Israel. Okay, and how he approaches debates. Before that, he was not good. He is a right winger, moderate right winger, I guess, if such a thing exists. But the framing, he always does this nonsense civility politics. Like, you said this about Charlie Kirk. What's wrong with you? Blah 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 blah. Like, okay, we get it. Can we talk about the substance? Okay, so we'll see what happens.
The only way this country moves forward into a better world is when conservatives can finally realize that they need to turn the temperature down on their side. We are 10 years into whatever
Yeah,
this
you're
Trump
right,
madness
Alan.
is, and there is not a single mainstream conservative that will call for a lowering of the temperature on their side. I think that liberals need to wake up and finally realize that if they're not willing to do it, it will never come down. If you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, Donald Trump shouldn't have been president for the second term. Every time he's in office, this happens. People joked about when Biden came in, it was so boring, nothing was going on.
Interesting. So he's saying that let me get this right. He's saying that if Donald Trump wasn't elected, Charlie Kirk would still be around. Maybe. Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. I find myself kind of agreeing with him on that point. We have talked about it before, folks, that when people feel oppressed, when they feel like they're being put down, when they feel that their rights are being taken away, some small portion of the population will turn to violence. And Donald Trump has massively amplified those feelings amongst people. Just today, folks, I don't know if you saw the news today. Someone was arrested, dressed up like a police officer, going into the Charlie Kirk Memorial. They're having like a in remembrance of Charlie Kirk thing, and someone snuck in there armed, dressed like a police officer, and they arrested them. So yeah, Donald Trump and his policies and MAGA have really led Meowsard, we just started. Really led to a heightening of temperatures and tensions in the country. Okay. Uh, I gotta say, Destiny is probably right about that. We can't say for certain. Yeah, you're right. And Alan, someone was arrested for threatening Zoran's life the other day. Okay. These tensions are rising because when you have an authoritarian leader who abuses people, some people will be prone to violence. Okay. That's just the way things are. It's just a human thing. But again, okay.
7 out of 10 of the largest protests in American history have happened under Donald Trump. All of the recent political violence that's happened in this country over the past 20 years, the majority of it, the overwhelming majority of it, everybody gets mad because they keep asking Grok about it, has been conservative.
Who shot Charlie Kirk?
A guy from Utah who was raised in a Christian family, who was a 22-year-old
guy
white
described
dude. He wasn't
Destiny.
trans. He didn't have a trans girlfriend. He didn't have any trans influences. He didn't have any trans bullets. Yeah, I'm sorry, you guys were wrong on all of that.
To be clear, the governor of Utah, Spencer Cox, has made it clear that their investigation has now established that he had been radicalized.
By the way, Pierre is doing pretty bad journalism here. The statement of one governor, Republican governor of one state, is not sufficient evidence to show that it is true. Like I've said before, I suspect, yes, this shooter did what he did for left-wing reasons. But what is my ultimate conclusion, folks? I think we all know we don't know yet, okay? So for Piers to be like, oh, we now know for certain. No, we don't, Piers. And if you were a real journalist, you would know that. But also it bothers me that Destiny, I don't really get the point in evading the question there and saying, well, he wasn't a Republican family. Yeah, who cares? That doesn't mean that you're a Republican shooter. Okay, that doesn't mean that that's why you did a shooting. But again, hey, Victoria, me too. I'm not a fan of Piers Morgan. I will say I do like when he does debates about Israel recently, but I'm not a fan of Piers Morgan. Okay, but we're basically watching to see what the debate here is about. Okay. Yeah, there you go, Alan. They're proving it. Like there is nothing concrete linking this guy to the left. Okay, which is why I'm saying we don't know yet. Maybe there is something concrete we're not aware of. The evidence that has come out very loosely pushes towards him being on the left, but it's not reliable evidence. Okay, so that's why I'm like, in the end, we don't know. All right.
By a leftist ideology, which drove him to do this.
Nope.
That's just
I'm sorry. Excuse me. When?
Yesterday, he said that.
No. When was he radicalized? In the 6 months that he did remote college? Not
I don't know when he was radicalized, but I do know.
What you just said
I do know
true.
the very reasonable sounding governor of Utah has made it clear.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Okay, I love. Okay, Piers Morgan. Great journalism there on Piers Morgan, and well, he sounds like a reasonable governor. Therefore, what he says must be true. That is not how you do journalism, Piers Morgan. Just because you feel that someone sounds reasonable doesn't mean that they're putting out truthful facts. Okay. You're right, Jaznaz. It could be. Okay. So Piers Morgan drives me insane, as Victoria was saying. Okay.
He said this is an ongoing investigation.
You may not want to hear it,
it,
Destiny, but the reality is the investigators, according to the governor of Utah, have established that he was radicalized to a leftist ideology that drove him to murder Charlie Kirk. Now, let me just ask you.
That's just not true.
Let me just
There's
ask
no
you.
way to deal with it.
Okay,
You're living in a
accusing the governor of lying.
Yeah.
That's your prerogative. But
sure.
If it turns out to have been somebody with a leftist ideology who wanted to shut up Charlie Kirk, would you condemn that?
I won't condemn anything until the president of the United States can go on air and say, all of us need to calm down.
So you won't condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk until Donald Trump says something.
I'm a YouTuber. Leftists and Democrats have been condemning and turning down the temperature, condemning violence, turning down the temperature for a decade.
Oh, my God. I'm actually rather shocked, folks. I'm agreeing with a lot of what Destiny is saying. I don't know. Maybe we're turning a page here on Destiny. Okay, I doubt it, but he's right.
Donald Trump can't go on TV and say, all of us need to calm down.
Right.
And Demosthenes, my bias is not showing, okay? It is not showing. How dare you, Demosthenes? Yeah, Doug. I mean, it could be Doug. I mean, we don't know, right? That's the thing. It could be that gonna be Destiny pilled with me and Alyssa. Hey, well, we'll see, Meowzord. We'll see. Okay.
Can you tell me why he cannot?
Why would you expect anybody, Destiny?
You can't answer that. Can you answer that question? Why can't Trump go on TV and say,
question?
all of us should be less violent?
Why do you
can't
think
Trump say that?
Why do you
Why
think
is your behavior contingent on Donald Trump?
Insane right now.
Why
do you
is
think?
your
No, let me ask a
behavior
question.
contingent on Donald Trump?
Let me ask a question.
Because he's the president of the United States of America.
Okay, Anna. Oh my God. Why is your behavior contingent? I'm sorry. I need to hear that again.
Condemning and turning down the temperature, condemning violence, turning down the temperature for a decade. Donald Trump can't go on TV and say, all of us need to calm down.
Right.
Can you tell me why he cannot?
Why would you expect anybody, Destiny?
You can't answer that. Can you answer that question? Why can't Trump go on TV and say, all of us should be less violent?
Why do you think
Trump say that?
Why do you
Why
think
is your behavior contingent on Donald Trump?
Insane right now.
Why do you think?
Your
No, let me
behavior
ask a
contingent
question.
on Donald Trump?
Let me ask a question.
Because he's the president of.
Doug, you're right. He does look like this guy smelled a fart, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it does. Okay.
The United States of America and the leader of the
Destiny.
You have a huge audience of young men who listen to everything you have to say. So when it doesn't matter. You have a huge audience, and because of the fact that you have a huge audience, you have a responsibility to not turn. No, it hasn't. It hasn't been broken. I actually care about the country and want to bring people together.
I will say Destiny is right. The left has for years been right, Robert. It has been denouncing violence, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, yeah. Weirdly, okay. I'm actually for now. I'm on Destiny's side. I suspect you'll say something loony because I'm biased against him. That'll ruin it for me, but we'll see what happens.
If you do the opposite. You represent the worst of us, Destiny. You're embarrassing.
I see his point, though. Why is everyone criticizing the left-wingers who like the people on the left and liberals who aren't criticizing or who aren't calling for no violence, when no one, like, while not demanding Donald Trump do it? Okay, who has more influence there? The man with the microphone, the one one who's like the president of the country, one of the most powerful positions in the world. Okay. Yeah, me too, Doug. So far, he is the only one I agree with so far.
You should tell Donald.
All right, let me ask Destiny a question.
Watch how easy this is.
No, hang on. Don't all shout at once, please.
If Donald Trump would have come out and said, hey, we should all be less violent, I have no problem saying
I have one question for you, Destiny.
Why can't conservatives do that? Why can't conservatives do that?
Destiny, I have a question for you. Why do you think in your campaign for everyone to dial down the temperature, why do you think that mocking the grieving widow of Charlie Kirk when she posts an image of her at the coffin side, why do you think that constitutes turning down the temperature?
You can't turn down the temperature on your own. The president of the United States is not
the temperature.
able
Okay, again, it's like Piers Morgan doing civility policing here. Hello, Drusilla. Welcome, Drusilla. And in a very annoying way. And Destiny is largely right. So anyway.
You're mocking his widow. You're mocking his widow.
We've had multiple political assassinations over the past year. What do you mean? It's turning up the temperature.
Why did you mock his widow?
Online
Because why did you mock his widow?
Because she's being used as a political weapon right now for conservatives to continue.
Right,
what do you mean, wow? She's literally doing
her husband just got murdered
on email. Yeah, and she's using it to drive up recruitment for
and you can't even condemn the murder. You won't condemn it.
Can't even tell his side
You're
to
so
turn the
deranged
down.
about Trump that you cannot condemn the murder because you're waiting for Donald Trump to say something.
Off of it.
All right, let me bring in Jack. Let me bring in Jack Posobiec. I gotta say.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of Paul Pelosi, excuse me, Doug. How many conservatives came out and denounced when that crazed MAGA guy attacked Paul Pelosi? I mean, anyway, Trump failed. Jesus Christ, it's a shit show on this whole panel. You've got a grape apologist. You got a grape apologist, a guy who can't open a pickle jar. Trump failed. Oh, okay, Trump failed. Thank you for that. Thank you for making me laugh. Okay, a bitch who can't make up her mind and a whiny incel gamer. Jesus Christ, you're right. Trump failed. Okay. What is that? What the pickle jar? What is that about? I'm gonna see. Yeah. Oh, Meowzord. You mentioned a 1488 guy. I didn't know that. Which one of these guys is the 1488 guy? Someone mentioned 1488, which, by the way, folks, 1488 is a white supremacist neo-Nazi. Oh, the guy next to Piers. Oh, well then, of course. Okay. Right, Fox Emblem. Okay, so 1488 means the 14 words, which is a white supremacist slogan. Basically, I will secure a future for my white children, blah, 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 something like that. And 88 refers to the 8th letter of the alphabet. The 8th letter of the alphabet is H. So 88 is HH, which stands for Heil Hitler. And sometimes, JMac, hello, JMac. Sometimes, if you ever see online someone posting 88 or 1488, that is a whistle, a coded whistle to all the other white nationalists and Nazis. Okay, so I didn't know that that's what this guy was. I didn't know he was a 1488er. That's pretty horrific. Okay, and of course Piers has him on, right? You know, why not? Okay, it's insane. Okay. Oh, thank you. Okay. If you see screen names with that now, you know exactly, JMac. So if you ever see anyone that has like a screen name, okay, like that has 1488 in it or just 88, I've gotten comments on some of my YouTube videos with 88 in it who are very critical because they're Nazis. Right, Louise? Okay, so yeah, just be careful, especially online. It's used as coded language. The neo-Nazis and stuff have a lot of coded memes and language. Pepe, for example, can sometimes be coded Nazi language. There's a lot of very interesting things about that. We'll do a stream on it sometime. Yeah, Mike My Pillow 1488 special. Yep. All right. Kay Layla. Welcome, Kay Layla. Posobiec lives in my area, and he's a huge agitator and Nazi. Why the fuck? I mean, I don't know why I'm asking. I think we know why Piers Morgan has him on, because Piers Morgan, you know. Oh, absolutely, J-Mac. We actually talked about the Turner Diaries. They all love the Turner Diaries. Okay. I don't know about Picklegate. What is this Picklegate? You got to tell me, folks. I'll look at the video. I know Meowzor posted it. I don't know about Picklegate. Okay.
Still no answer to that question, Piers. You can't say,
which question?
Why can't Donald Trump simply go on TV and say, we all need to turn it down?
Fine.
Like Biden could, like Obama could,
Fine.
like the Clintons could, like Kamala could. Why not?
Why can't you condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk?
It's unbelievable. I'm not.
That reminds me of when Piers Morgan was like, but do you condemn Hamas? Do you condemn Hamas? Do you condemn Hamas? Do you condemn Hamas? It became like a musical number for him. Do you condemn Hamas? Okay.
The president.
Why can't you?
You know what? Let's look at the. I am curious. I'm gonna find that video that Meowser sent about the Picklegate because I want to know what this is. Let me find it, and then we'll go back to this. Okay. Okay, so this is what Meowser sent. I guess this is the Picklegate scandal or whatever it is. I don't know what the hell it is. We'll find out. I know if I don't get a lot, I don't know a lot of like the kind of funny internet stuff that happens because I'm a nerd, but no, that is very true, J-Mac. You're right. But it just reminds me of when he used to do it. Okay, so we'll watch this. Okay, let's see what this Picklegate is. So she's trying to open a thing of pickles. Okay.
Uh-oh. Come on, you can do it.
Put it right side up. Just
You can do it. You got this.
All right, bro. I can't do it. Here. I do. This seems a little immature. No. For
Hey, the guy
$1,000.
sent $1,000.
Yeah, but it seems slightly immature.
It's all fucking
It's just
slick
for,
now.
it's a little,
See, it
little fun.
is.
I gotta grip it.
Uh-oh, Andrew. If you can't open it either.
Well, your hand greased the whole top of it.
My hands
Oh,
are
that's
fine.
humiliating.
Here, high five.
It
My
literally-
shoes are slow.
It's like, feel it. Isn't that greasy?
It was like that already. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
no,
you're
it
ridiculous.
wasn't. You greased the top.
Use
Oh
your
my
shirt.
Jesus,
Use your
Andrew.
shirt,
If you can't open the olive jar,
course.
you cannot
Here,
blame my.
while we're
Yeah. Immediately blaming the woman, right? Oh, this is golden. How have I not seen this? Thank you, Meowsword, for sending this. I know, right? Trump failed. This is hilarious. Totally emasculated. Jesus. Beta, right? As they would say on the right. Okay, that's
an
funny.
olive jar.
If you're so strong, you should open it.
Yeah, I gotta be able to grip it.
Okay, we'll grip it. Let's
It's
go.
literally slippery.
Uh-oh.
It's literally
Back.
Grab me a paper towel so I can dry the top of it off.
Doug. Okay, thank you, folks. This gave me some good context for the rest of the debate. Now I know who we're dealing with here, okay? Yeah, you're right, Louise. They could have also they could have also put it under some hot water or something. Yeah, you can also just use like a chick trip. Yeah, yeah. Folks, like I mean, I have all the men here are here. We have trouble opening shit too, right? I mean, okay. The funny like how people will gender this thing, like it depends on the jar, right? I mean, it is obviously okay. Like yeah, he could just admit defeat. Like who cares? No, JMac, I can see it. I can see the chat. Why is there something? Did something not go through there, JMac? Because I can see all the stream, JMac. I can see all the chats. And then he hands it to someone who just twisted open. Oh, really? That's hilarious. Okay, that's hilarious. All right. Okay, so we'll get back to this debate now. Thank you. I now know the pickle jar lore. Okay. Huh. Let me see what I can do here, JMac. I think maybe if I move this, you know what? I bet that's what it is, JMac. Here, if I move it over here, that might help. Give me a second, folks. Oh, can you see it if I put it over here, JMac? Like right there? Maybe it was just too close on the screen. Boop. Is that okay? All right, let's continue. There we go, JMac. That was my mistake, JMac. Thank you for telling me. Okay, excellent. We'll continue. We'll begin.
You condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk.
Unbelievable to me.
Why can't you condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk?
Because it wasn't my side that caused it. It should be the one that is driving up
It
the
actually
rhetoric.
was your side that caused it. It was your side.
This guy was raised in a white Christian
He was a
household,
radicalized
in a Christian
leftist
state.
ideology.
He wasn't radicalized by leftism at all. You have no proof of that whatsoever.
That's what
Just
the
like
investigators
the
are
one that
saying.
killed Melissa was a conservative, just like the people that firebombed Shapiro's house was a conservative, just like all the J6ers were conservatives, just like the Proud Boys were conservatives. Every single one of these, every single one of these people. Oh, it's Jack Posobiec. What, the author of Unhuman? Another person that Charlie supported? Good one, dude.
Well, I'll give you one last chance, Destiny.
Yeah, it says the 1488 are over here. Yeah, okay. Now I know this thing about these people. I have trouble even listening to what they're saying.
To condemn the murder of Charlie
Yes, you are
Kirk.
acting like an unhuman.
Why can't I hear
Oh my God, for a Nazi to say that, it kind of is even darker, isn't it? When he says that Destiny is acting like an unhuman, there was literally a word in German, Untermenschen, which meant subhumans, and that's what the Nazis used to describe people who they viewed as less than human. So Mr. 1488 here, excuse me, is literally, maybe he doesn't know it, I suspect he does, parroting Nazi talking points. And be honest with you, really, he has a book called Unhuman. Okay, he knows what he's doing. He is absolutely a Nazi. That is insane. Okay. Hey, guarantee these guys also joked about probably. Oh, almost certainly. Okay. All right. Oh my God, is that so, Druzilla? They're talking about doing recruitment in the military. Yeah, they are. I heard about that, Druzilla. Yes. Thank you, Druzilla. We'll watch that next, actually. I forgot about that. They're going to be doing military recruitment based off Charlie Kirk. Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys.
Donald Trump
Because you were against
condemn violence
humanity.
in
So,
this
all
country?
right, you
Why
won't
can't I
condemn
hear
it. Okay, we've all
can't hear it.
heard.
That's insane
We've
to
all
me.
heard you repeatedly refuse to
And
condemn
we've
it.
heard Donald Trump refuse to condemn it
Jack
too. But for some
Posobiec.
reason, the leftists on YouTube are a bigger deal. Unbelievable.
Yeah, what's incredible is you don't have the basic humanity to condemn it. You'd
Oh
rather
my
taunt
God.
his
Piers,
widow.
shut
I find
up.
that sickening.
Shut
Jack
up,
Posobiec.
Piers.
I find it sickening that when people are getting killed in the country, the president of the United States on Fox and Friends, when they're begging him, what do you say to your followers that want revenge? He says, I don't know, all the elections are rigged. It's the radical Democrats. That's insane to me. And then the fixation is, well, who on Twitter and YouTube isn't condemning the violence?
Right, Fox Emblem.
All right, Jack
Piers,
Posobiec.
you have a great example here of the type of cancer I'm talking about, where when you present
There's more of that demonizing language, the cancer. What do you do with cancer? You cut it out. Okay. Yeah. Oh my God, J-Mac, you're so right. Do you hate minorities and think white Christians are under attack? Join the army and kill brown children. Yeah. That's kind of what it is, right? Yeah.
and direct information, they refuse, they obfuscate, they refute, they say it's not true, they lie. You could see from the bullet casings, you could see from postings, you
I
could
let
see
it
from
through,
everything
J-Mac.
out there that it's very clear what happened here. This is the same people who supported President Trump almost getting assassinated twice last year, Cory Capatore being assassinated
By
last year
conservatives.
in a situation.
Mhm.
Again, see, just lies as
Okay, yeah, I love how calm this guy is because it makes him seem like he's more true, but he's just lying through his teeth. As we've always said, folks, the vast majority of terroristic violence is done by right-wingers in the United States. Obviously. Like, I almost want to laugh at this point at how obviously false it is. Anyway, okay.
all they do. They talk over. They don't even let you give a chance to speak. And something needs to be done, Piers. Something absolutely needs to be done. This ideology should be shamed, humiliated, driven from the public discourse. I mean, you've got people who have
Would you do that?
completely dissociated with humanity because all they care about are clicks and YouTube streams and likes. Go to the casket. Go to the gravesite. Go talk to the widow. You know, I don't even know how to discuss.
You're
this
right,
with someone who's
Jazz.
completely lost all touch with reality.
Yeah.
It's okay, says the guy. Says the 1488er. How can we do this with someone who's lost complete touch with reality? I mean, okay, the comedy almost writes itself. Jesus Christ. Okay, Mithril, Millie Dowler and her family allegedly targeted the Sunny People in 2002 when Piers Morgan was the most powerful news executive in Mirror Group stable and the editor. Oh my God, I didn't know that. Okay. You're right, Jazznaz Gamer. They did. They took down from the website. Which website it was? It was the FBI's website. That report showing that most violence was done by the right wing. They removed that from the site. Layla Posobiec was also seen around DC with the Clark brothers. The DOJ, excuse me, around DC with the Clark brothers who were friends with the Tree of Life shooter. Oh, I'm not surprised at all, Layla. Shocking. Shocking. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, you're right, J-Mac. There is a thing called the Internet Archive. We can look back. Okay, let's continue here.
I mean, Anna.
What's Jack's answer to why can't the president say we should all be less violent?
Right. Because you can't even condemn the cold-blooded execution of Charlie
Donald Trump
Kirk.
turns on Destiny.
I don't think you're in the
YouTube,
position to
says,
demand anything from anybody
on YouTube. That's how I'm going to take my.
You're
my
not in any position
really?
to condemn anybody for anything. You won't condemn a cold-blooded murder.
He's the president of the United States. He's the president of the United States. No one here can answer that question.
Basic humanity says the murder was horrific. Why can't you say it?
To be less violent.
Why can't you say it, Destiny?
Oh God, Kayla.
To say the murder was horrific and unacceptable.
Why can't Donald Trump say it?
You can't do it.
See, okay, this is getting boring at this point. Like, move on, Piers. Move on. He's clearly not going to condemn it. Why? This is just for clicks, I think. He's just trying to get more YouTube fodder. Can we skip? Can we get past? Okay, let's see.
Can we hear any words for Donald Trump?
All right, Anna Kasparian.
Donald Trump. Nothing.
Okay, let's see what Anna has to say. God help us all.
To me, this is what I'm talking about. That I think
is it really Fox
element
Emblem?
Of the left, the hard woke left, that have completely lost their minds.
The hard woke left. Oh my God. Okay, so folks, I'll watch like 2 more minutes, and if we'll see if like anything changes here. If it doesn't, we'll just stop. But
if you are not able to just outright simply condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk,
God, my God, shut up here.
And if you cannot stop yourself from mocking his grieving widow, you are sick.
For the UK people in chat, please forgive me when I say this, right? But like, maybe it's because of like cultural associations between that accent and like aristocratic people. But like, it's almost worse that he has that accent. Because it makes him sound like so condescending, right? Like, oh, you can't do this. Oh, it's like, shut up. Jesus Christ, Piers, shut up.
As I've just seen from Destiny. It's a
sick thing
mindset.
is weaponizing a widow's grief.
I know you don't,
Jaznaz. For your
He's
political
American
party.
at this
That's
point.
probably one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. She's showing up in emails for recruitment drives for TP USA.
Destiny? What did you think the assassination of a political figure would do? What did you think the outcome was going to be?
J-Mac.
What did you think the outcome was? And by the way,
are you asking
really,
me for the pragmatic political outcome, or are you asking me for?
Hey, how about take it easy on the Adderall? Take it easy on the Adderall.
Oh my God, Anna, shut up, Anna. Oh my God,
you must have been really bullied today.
My behavior is not reliant on how anyone else behaves.
See, but she's being willfully ignorant though, because, okay, how do I say this? Like, violence can really only be viewed within the larger structure of a society. Certain structures of society create more violence, material conditions create violence, and the fact that like it keeps going after Destiny, like, well, but this people decide to do violence and stuff like that is almost willful ignorance, because she's not a dumb person. Anna Kasparian is not a dumb person, but so why isn't she addressing why it may be that this violence happened? Maybe it's because Trump is making people, more desperate. He's oppressing people, which radicalizes people and things like that. But instead, we're down in the mud doing this kind of debate. And I'm weirdly siding with Destiny, the man I hate, because he is right in this circumstance. I do not like having to side with Destiny, but alas, Meowzord, I am siding with Destiny. Okay, one more minute. If it doesn't something change, we're going to do something else.
And I make decisions about how I choose to react or respond to things. I don't wake up in the morning.
Oh, I love the D&D reference. She does have 16 intelligence, but 6 wisdom. Yeah, no, I do not like him, J-Mac, at all. Yeah.
Check what Donald Trump has to say and then base my own personal behavior on his behavior. I agree with you in that it would be very helpful to have the leader of this country want to turn the temperature down. And he hasn't done that. I agree with you on that.
Panda Bear.
But that doesn't change the way I choose to respond to what's going on. The idea of mocking a woman who is now a widow with 2 young children.
Okay, we're done. We're done. I've seen enough. I've seen enough. Okay. This is just going to be, whatever. Okay, let's see what else we got here, folks. Weirdly enough, I sided with Destiny on that one. Hello, Luke. Hello. For all the folks who came in chat, if we get 2 more super chats, I'll put on the makeup. Okay. And would someone on Twitch tell me how many a Kirkle joke Meowsort. Would someone on Twitch tell me how many people are over there right now viewing it? I'm just trying to make sure, because remember, folks, I'm trying to get an average of 5 people because it'll allow me to monetize the stream. 7. Good. Excellent. Thank you. Okay. Um, yeah. Yeah, no, you're right, Luke. They just became a shouting match. Okay, so let's I'm going to get out of that. So someone sent this to me.
Legalize
Oh my God, he's after my heart. He's dressed like a jester. Okay. Let's watch this real fast. It's called Pearl Mania. I think, who was it that sent this? Was it Meowsort? Maybe Meowsort. Yeah, please, folks, hit the like button, please, if you don't mind. Thank you, guys. Those are on Twitch. Please hit the like button, and it'll help me get more people in here. Okay. Let's decompress a bit, folks. Let's decompress a bit. Because just remember, men. Just remember, you should put SPF cream on your faces, okay? And no, that's not, by the way, not a sponsor or anything, okay? I'm just doing it for anyway, okay. It really isn't, but okay. So here we go. Let's do legalized comedy. Let's see what this is about. I love the J-Mac, how dare you, okay? No, yeah, literally, you missed it. You missed it, J-Mac. I did a little segment earlier about how men should wear SPF on their faces. So J-Mac, you should get some SPF cream for your face, okay? Anyway, all right, let's go.
Comedy, am I right? Remember that? Legalized
hello, Pete.
comedy. How's that going for us, right? It's been 9 months. It's been 9 months. Isn't that crazy? We were forced to carry it to term because we had no other options, right? Second term. It's been a wild 9 months. It has been. A lot of us didn't realize that we were pregnant with this moment. Some of us knew. Some of us knew. Honk, honk. Some of us knew exactly how this was going to go.
I should start doing that in live streams. Honk, honk. Like, just go honk, honk. I would, that would be great. Okay, I'm learning from this jester to be a better jester myself. I know I'm not that funny of a jester, but I totally should start doing I should start copying some of he's much better at doing the gesturing aspect of the gesturing.
And some of us have never read a history book. Some of us don't understand what metaphors are. Those people run the Department of Education now. Hey-o! And they're doing a great job. We love Linda McMahon at the Department of Education. We love the work that you did with WrestleMania. And now, let me check my notes real fast here. Patriotic education for children that if their schools don't accept them, they will be defunded. That's great. That's great. Love that. I need a hat. What color hat should I wear? Better be a red one. Legalized comedy, am I right? Remember that?
Okay, I love it. You're right. I don't know, Robert. What is history, right? Because apparently a lot of people don't know or don't remember it. One of the reasons I started the channel was because a lot of people seem don't not to know. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Demosthenes. History is his story. You're right. Okay. All right. That was a good one. Thank you for whoever posted that. Oh, geez, is that right? Trump failed. Not surprised at all. Not surprised at all. The Netherlands just had that is true, pizza. I am gay, which makes me more entertaining automatically. That's for sure. Okay. Now that I've stated an undeniable fact that can't be argued by anyone. No, you're right. So JMac, you're right. Have you noticed? People notice? Ah! Oh gosh, my thing just fell down here. But JMac says it's been kind of funny seeing some of the people of the brosphere, as far as like podcasting, go be finally concerned about the First Amendment, and I've seen that. Forgive me, my mic fell down, so I'm trying to put it back up because I kind of hit it. Because remember how I said during the personality quiz that I'm very clumsy? So forgive me. But yes, there have been some right wingers coming out to gay jester or harlequin. I need to I need to be better at that stuff. Some folks have been coming out. Some right wingers have been coming out and getting upset at the crackdown on free speech. Not many, but a few. Yeah, no, you're totally right, JMac. They still are saying that the left is doing it too. Okay. Right, Jazznaz, right? Trump, I swear to uphold the Constitution. Also, Trump, I don't know if he is mentioned in the Constitution, right? All right, almost done here, folks. Almost done fixing this little problem I have, and then we'll start watching the next one. Oh, I'm sorry, Meowsord. I missed the punchline. Harlequin. Oh, I get it. That was a good one, Meowsord. I give you props. You are my best fan, Meowsord, because you won the game yesterday. Jesus Christ. Give me a second. This is not working. How's everyone doing? Everyone doing well? While I'm trying to fix this thing. Okay, so oh, I love that Mithril. Cack-handed. Oh my god, I am totally cack-handed. I'm gonna use that phrase from now on. Cack-handed. I'm a very cack-handed, hack-handed person. Okay. There we go. There we go. It is now secure. Okay, let us continue. All right. Hello, oh, excuse me, Vexed. Hello, welcome, Vexed. Okay, guys. Oh my god, you're so right, Alan. They were single issue voters. They just wanted to say the R word, okay? Yeah, right. Oh, of course it did. Okay, Trump failed. That's what's happening in Europe right now. Yay. Um, yeah, no, you're right, Robert. Okay, let's see what else we got here. This I saw. I don't know who sent this one, but apparently, churches are playing an AI generated Charlie Kirk video during services. So we'll see what this is about. This should be interesting. Okay. Okay. Well, all right. We have a few. We'll just watch. If you can watch this.
Start off by talking a little bit more.
Yeah,
about
you're right, Alan. I'll put it on 1.25 speed here. Just to speed it up a bit.
Charlie Kirk, but not
Zilla,
the
fantastic.
drama that's been ensuing. I feel like other people are better equipped to talk about all the
Oh, this is Friendly Atheist.
that are
Very
going
cool.
on right now. I wanted to talk specifically about
Is that so, Pizza?
how conservative Christian churches are handling what happened last week, because the obligatory thing I feel like I have to say, which is true, is that what happened to him should not have happened. I didn't want that to happen. I think Elie Mystal, I mentioned this last week, Elie Mystal of The Nation said it well. I wanted to see Charlie Kirk grow old and watch everything he worked for crumble. That would have been the ideal situation. But the thing
I like that framing.
Jack Jenkins, a reporter for Religion News Service, pointed out is that over the past week, there have been a lot of memes circulating in conservative Christian circles. I will show you their...
Hi, I'm Andy Levian,
Yeah,
General
right,
Counsel
Pizza.
at the DNC.
Apparently,
We just sued
oh my
President
God,
Trump
why
and
do I
DOJ,
have to see
and
the
I hope
Democrats?
you will support us by...
It's either an ad for like penis pills or like an ad for the Democrats or Jordan Peterson. This is what I get for watching the stuff I watch on here with all of you. Okay. A Mansion, no money in elections, in simple language, no more hiding stuff in plain sight. Yeah, okay. Jesus. Okay.
Illustration that went with his article about this, just because it's strange. These are an assortment of AI images that have been circulating among conservatives in some cases, and this one at the bottom left, where it's Kirk and Martin Luther King and Abe Lincoln, because they were all assassinated for basically the same thing. Or
oh
so
my God, it is so disgusting to place. You all know, I don't know why I'm telling this all. You all know this. It is so disgusting to put Charlie Kirk next to MLK and Abe Lincoln. I mean, just think about the historical impact of those two compared to him. Oh, okay. Anyway,
Jesus, because of course, he's comforting on the upper right. He's comforting that Ukrainian woman who
absolutely
was
not vexed.
assaulted. Was she killed? I believe she was killed by a man on the subway. You got Kirk and the Pope, the previous Pope, and hey, another run-in with Jesus. Okay. I get that people do this every time anyone dies for any reason.
That's true.
They want to make it look like everything is great and that they're doing fine in the afterlife. whatever. I'm not.
J-Mac.
It's weird because those people seem to think that Charlie Kirk only ever said wonderful things about faith and free speech and literally nothing else. Because they get so mad, at least I have seen this online, they get so mad anytime people quote or show clips of things Kirk actually said. Because he has a few different personas when he's going out. He has the debate me, I want to debate your civil.
See, like, this is something that worries me about what happens when you don't have separation of church and state and people start mixing nationalist ideologies with their religious ideologies. You get weird ass shit like this, where you deify dead conservatives and things like that and turn them into almost godlike Christ figures. It's weird. Okay. It's like the Empire from 40K, the Imperium of Man. It's really weird. Yeah. Yep. Heather's. Yep. I mean, it's anyway. It messes with me. It scares me a lot.
Rights, and this is fun, and it's all a sport for him. And this is what he was doing at the university when he got killed. That's one aspect of him. When he's speaking to a Christian audience,
yes,
he has a different persona where he talks about how awesome Jesus is, and he just talks about family and like only straight families are awesome, and everyone should have a straight cisgender family with like 2.5 bathrooms and 2.5 kids and whatever. But then you have the part where it's just like his show, where he knows he's being watched by people who already agree with him. And this is where he said a lot of the things, whether it's on his show or podcast he appeared on, he says a lot of the things that
that is really weird, J-Mac.
Are like, oh, these are horrible, horrible things you are saying.
Well, you're right. So J-Mac says 2.5 kids. Weird, right? Well, I mean, isn't there that story in the Bible where Jazz Naz Gaming, of course I love 40K. Isn't there that thing in the Bible where Solomon had to like cut or was like told them to cut a baby in half? So I guess biblically there is at least one point where there's 0.5 kids, right? Though I don't think they actually ended up cutting the kid in half. But regardless, maybe anyway.
That you don't feel safe flying in a plane if there's a black pilot because you don't trust they know how to do their job.
I remember that.
I'm paraphrasing. Or other situations where he said black women who climbed to the top of their ranks, people like Ketanji Brown Jackson, weren't really qualified to hold those jobs. They don't really have the brain power that someone like Brett Kavanaugh might have. Listen, there's no shortage of awful things he said. And there's no shortage of like things he said that in any other context, if a pastor said it, you'd be like, yeah, that's what I expect.
Oh, J-Mac, that is a good joke.
But it is weird to watch people on the right only reflect on only the good things he said while pretending that it's a horrible, horrible thing to point out. He had a much broader
you're right. Oh, you're right, Drusilla. I forgot about that. He did it to trick one of the two women. I forgot about that. Yeah, okay. That is Mithril. That's a really fair point. Well, who was it that just said that? Was it Mithril? Yeah, we, the UK, don't have separation of church and state, and yet we don't have the problems with religion you guys have. That is a really fair point, Mithril. I think at this point, though, in the United States, the people that want to meld the church and the state will do it in an authoritarian way. So we do need separation of church and state here, because if we don't, they will take over. You're right, though. There's a lot of very radical Christians in the United States, very radical, right wing, batshit crazy evangelicals and such. Yeah, and you guys are So that is a really good point, Mithril. We we have extreme religiosity here. And Louise and Mithril and anyone else here from the UK, I hear a lot of jokes about the Anglican Church. Like how like they're just like they just don't like a lot of the priests and stuff just don't really care, like and it's a very soft church, as in like it doesn't really, it's just kind of there, but it's not really. Yeah, so that is true. J-Mac, as a white Christian man, I believe the church should control the state. I feel like there's multiple things incorrect about that statement in there, J-Mac. Okay, in Norway, it was split in 2014, I think. Seems like other countries with state church are more chill about Christianity. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Alan. Okay. So that's a really good point by J-Mac, though. Maybe it is more of a cultural thing. Hey, don't worry, J-Mac. I'll back you up. If people don't know you're joking, I will back you up. Okay. All right, we'll continue.
Legacy. Like, people are not mad at him because he liked to debate. They're not mad at
Pizza, you're so right. Okay, it's odd how much the Bible holds precedence in the U.S. considering how it's been amended over the generations. Yeah, And Pizza, maybe I'll do a stream on that sometime, the early history of the Bible. But yeah, I don't want to go into it now. I think you know, Pizza. I don't want to alienate anyone, but yeah. Okay. Yes, we are, Pizza. Anyway. Okay.
Him because he was a conservative. There are plenty of those to go around. People didn't like him on the left in general because he said a lot of racist, bigoted things against trans people, against black people, LGBTQ people in general.
Kimberly, hey, welcome, Kimberly. I unfriended people on Facebook long ago for supporting Trump this week. I unfriended 2 more over Kirk. Oh my God, Kimberly, I know that must be infuriating. Ugh.
Against atheists, against liberals, against Muslims. I mean, you name it. If they were on the left, he not just criticized them, he had slurs for them. He said really controversial, awful, awful things about them. But of course, if you mention that on social media, how many states have there been recently? I mean, I know Oklahoma is one where Ryan Walters literally sent out an email saying, here's the snitch line, where if you see a teacher saying something mean about Charlie on social media, let me know and I will have them fired.
They're getting a ton of
And of course,
teachers fired
going on
too.
in the government and wherever conservatives who are against cancel culture.
And have folks noticed that whenever there's these movements to suppress speech, who is it that gets targeted the most? Professors and teachers. We are always in the firing line when this happens. They always come after teachers. Anyway,
told are like, how do I cancel people who didn't like Charlie?
Right, Pizza.
Anyway, that's why the AI images are weird. They suggest that he was a martyr in the same sense that MLK was, or Abraham Lincoln, or John F. Kennedy, or whatever. But the most egregious version of this, I'm going to play you a clip in just a second. What Jack Jenkins of Religion News Service found was that over this past weekend, a few different churches played the same clip of Charlie Kirk speaking from the afterlife.
What?
And how did they get this clip?
Well, I don't know why I'm shocked.
They all told
I'm
their
not
congregation
shocked.
up front, this is AI generated. So, like, we know it's fake, but also we're still going to play it for you because it sounds like something he would have said. So let me play for you one of these clips. This is from Pastor Jack Graham, who runs a megachurch in Plano, Texas. He runs Prestonwood Baptist Church, and this is what it looked like at his church. This is what he did over the weekend.
Oh God, here we go.
David McKinley just sent me a clip.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to become a Christian just so I can pray about this.
Words of Charlie Kirk. I was so moved just to hear it between services. You're hearing something the first service didn't. But I want you to watch this clip and hear what Charlie is saying regarding what happened to him this past week.
First, I want you to know I'm fine, not because my body is fine, but because my soul is secure in Christ. That is so creepy. Death is not the end. It's a promotion. Don't waste 1 second mourning me. I knew the risks of standing up in this cultural moment, and I do it all over again. Second, do not let this violence divide us further. The enemy wants chaos, fear, and retaliation.
The enemy. Great. That's really not divisive language there, not violence promoting at all. I guess he's still promoting violence from the grave. Okay. I mean, he probably would have said that in real life. J-Mac, you know what would be smart? Giving people, giving a bunch of people who pay the victim $100K a year and a $50K sign-on bonus to round up for not having. Right, J-Mac? Right? Let's not pay teachers. Let's do that. I'm literally doing the sign of a cross right now. Victoria, I know, me too. I was like about to start praying there. Okay. Okay. I will. Oh, I totally will. I will watch it, Mithril. I know quite a bit about it already, but I could watch it. I did leave some words out. I'll go away. Okay, yeah, go away, ghost. Right, we need an exorcist in here. Yep, this is a church, Vex. This is a church.
Don't give it to them. Instead, double down on truth. Double down on courage. Double down on your faith and on your families. That is how you honor me. Third, remember this. America is worth it. Free speech is worth it. Fighting for the unborn, for families, for sanity, and a culture gone mad. It is all worth it. So dry your tears, pick up your cross, and get back in the fight. Do it with
Jesus
joy.
Christ.
Do it with strength. And never, ever let evil think it won.
That was the end of that clip. And afterwards, they gave him like a full 1 minute standing ovation for the AI
Jesus
clip
Christ.
of things Charlie Kirk did not say. And this is what Jack wrote about in Religion News Service. It's unclear where the video originated, but at least 2 other large evangelical Protestant churches,
right.
Dream City Church in Arizona and
I'd watch that horror movie. Charlie Kirk gets exorcised from the church or something. Like that'd be kind of a fun one. Okay, I think I'm gonna be sick. Me too. That was like it's just gross too. Like I have no respect for the man, but like he is dead. It's like why are you weirdly doing okay? Uh Panda Bear, a ton of mega churches do this speaking from beyond the grave stuff. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Great. Becoming an AI cult, absolutely. Fight for the unborn. Do not spawn camp. But once they're here, oppress the ever living shit out of them. 100% Meowzord. All these folks want women to be like they are in Handmaid's Tale, essentially. J-Mac, do you think the Mormons will baptize him like Anne Frank and Hitler? I know, J-Mac. I know they actually did that. Oh, you know, probably will, J-Mac. Probably already in the first stages of doing that if they're not too busy fiddling kids. I'm sorry. Did I? Oh God. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? Oops. Pizza. Oh, Charlie comes back via AI videos. There's nothing. It's just darkness. It's horrible. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That'd be funny. Pizza. There's nothing here. It's darkness. That'd be very funny. Or if he's burning, that'd be also funny. J-Mac, oh, it's not only the Catholic Church. Let me tell you, J-Mac, okay? It is not only the Catholic Church. The Mormons have a big issue with it too. But you're right. The Catholic Church also, anyway, okay? So, all right. The Mormons are better about covering it up, by the way. There's a great documentary you should watch. What is, people have probably seen it. It's on Netflix. What is it called? Oh, Kidnapped in Plain Sight or Vanished in Plain Sight. Has anyone ever heard of it? Anyway, okay. All right.
Aiken Church, San Marcos in California, also played it during their services that day. Pastors at both churches made clear the clips were AI. Even so, the segment triggered applause each time. It's so strange. I mean, first of all, it feels very much when you see those memes and you watch the reaction to that AI clip, it sounds very much like these people really want to worship an idol, which I don't know. I was told you're not supposed to do that. But unlike a lot of those Christians, I've actually read the 10 Commandments. Who knew? I find it also interesting that you
Real fast here, we got some great yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff about the Jehovah's Witnesses too, absolutely. Uh left-wing I want a reformed AI left-wing Führer. Drusilla. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, Louise here says, yeah, it is Louise, you're so right here. Like the churches in America are deeply corrupt. A lot of them are just basically profit farms for evangelical pastors. It's so blatant. Um Luke, they had helplines where they talked people out of going to the police. Yes, they did. The Mormons did. Yep. They were pretty horrific. And they are still pretty horrific. And by the way, folks, I have a massive bias against Mormons because I'm a gay man. And if there's one group you don't want to be in the Mormon church, it is gay, trans. They are monstrous towards you. Anyway. Okay, what church is this at? I really don't know. I don't know. Okay, we'll continue. Yeah, cults, Kimberly. Prosperity gobble. If you're poor, it's because you're a dirty sinner. 100%. The evangelical, not all evangelicals, but a lot will think that way.
easily have just used an
Right, Luke. It's basically a. Sorry, folks. I'm gonna keep pausing it. It's basically a subsidy. The fact that we don't tax them. Mithro, you're right. That's a fair point, Mithro. I should phrase it as they're fundamentalist evangelicals. Like I said, not all evangelicals are that way, but the fundamentalist evangelicals are. Thank you, Mithro, for your correction. Yeah, pizza. Yeah, do we remember that pizza? Pizza. Do we also remember when Jesus overturned the money changers table outside the temple because he didn't like all the profit that was going on? And how he ate with the poor and cured the sick and advocated for helping, treat your brother like you'd want to be treated. All that stuff that is apparently not good enough for a lot of the Christians. Only the most important message he had is the one that gets ignored, of course. Uh, and like I've said before, folks, I know I'm an atheist, and I know I've been bashing Christianity a lot. Okay, but Jesus was a badass. Like historically, if you look at historical thoughts about him, he was a really interesting character. Anyway, okay.
actual clip of things Charlie Kirk said during his life to say, like, this is the message he wanted to leave behind.
J-Mac.
But none of these churches, these three anyway, none of them did that. And I wonder if it's because they really couldn't find any clips that you could play in church for like a minute that are uplifting and positive. Because again, as so many people on the left have pointed out, if you play clips from his podcast, that is not what that dude sounded like. You would have a lot of very bigoted, very racist things mixed in with some of the things you saw in that AI generated clip. I am wondering, like, what's the future of this? Where are they going with these AI generated things?
Yeah.
What's stopping churches like this from, at this point, just showing clips of like AI Jesus saying whatever it is conservative Christians want Jesus to say? Because
I mean, I bet
that
they're
is
already
kind of
doing
what they
that.
already
I'm
do,
sure they,
right?
yeah,
Their
they're
whole
definitely
thing
already
is,
doing that.
whatever it is we believe as good Republican Christians, that is what Jesus said. And then you're like, where in the Bible does Jesus talk about, trans people and abortion? And then they're like, shut up, he totally said it. What's stopping them from just AI generating whatever right-wing rant that they wish Jesus had said instead of, all that Sermon on the Mount crap that they don't
There we
actually
go.
care
Yeah, the
about?
Sermon on the Mount. That's
What's
what I'm
stopping
talking
them
about.
from having AI videos of Jesus telling them, I need you to go out and vote for the Republican members who are running for the school board next week? That is not far away. It's coming. Mark my words. But I guess in some part of me is like, yeah, I guess that is something a church would do, play an AI clip of Charlie Kirk, because what is religion, really, if not putting things you believe into the mouth of someone who never said it and isn't around anymore to challenge you on any of it? That is kind of why people go to church, right? It's for a pastor to tell you what Jesus actually said, even though you won't find those
Now,
quotations in the
okay.
Bible at this point.
Okay, so admittedly, that's not fully right. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I'm nitpicking here. There are a lot of Christians who do actually believe that you need to read the Bible directly. That was one of the reasons for the Protestant Reformation, is that Lutherans and stuff were like, no, 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 we need to directly read the Bible. We shouldn't let the Catholic clergy do it for us. But he is right that there's a lot of Christians who really only listen to what their pastor says. But it just saying he's just oversimplifying. I agree with him. I'm just, right, J-Mac, I can't wait until they make AI videos of MLK and Malcolm X being ultra capitalist. They basically already do that, J-Mac. It's called a history book, where they will completely forget all the socialism and of those two, and just talk about the racial justice stuff, which was of course important, but also leaving out all the anti Vietnam stuff and all the socialism. Yep, yes, we do, J-Mac. We absolutely do. Okay.
And I think in that AI clip, he fake Charlie Kirk talked about how important free speech is. And this is something you also hear from the right, that yes, that is what Charlie Kirk stood for, free speech. We're going to carry on that legacy. And what has the right been doing all week? It's just been nonstop. We are going to get you fired if you don't say something about him that we like. Oh, Jimmy Kimmel said something about
Pizza. I love pizza. I love that mix up. Prophet equals profit, right? Just whitewashing him talking about, well, yep, absolutely, Luke. We whitewash MLK and Malcolm X all the time. Okay. J-Mac, free speech for me, not for thee, right? Yeah, well, 100% vexed. If insert name here was alive today, they'd be on my side. Right, vexed. It should be noted, by the way, that Martin Luther King famously said that he thinks one of the greatest threats is white liberals who are moderates, because they are kind of passive in the face of injustice and things like that, and make other people passive too. Never heard a pastor talk about slavery being in the Bible growing up. Felt so stupid when I learned it after becoming an atheist. Right, Drusilla? Hey, me too, Drusilla. A lot of pastors don't talk about that stuff. And you know what's funny, Drusilla, is I actually read the Bible while I was in school. I've read through the whole thing. Like, I've read through the whole thing probably 4 or 5 times, because I went to Catholic high school and middle school. Even though I read it, I still never really processed the fact that there was slavery in it, because of how it was taught to me when I was reading it. And only when I reread it later, after I started questioning those things, I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. How did I miss this shit? So anyway, but I also love that, because sometimes people will argue with me about it, and they'll think I don't know the Bible. Anyway, you can see where I'm going with that. Okay, anyway, I'll move on.
his murderer, well, then we got to get rid of Jimmy Kimmel. And we'll use the FCC to do it and threaten ABC for running his show. How many people in government jobs can we get fired because they said on social media something awful? Mind you, a lot of these Republicans in real time say way worse things because they're not quoting him directly. They say way worse things about like Ilhan Omar, a Muslim congresswoman. They have said racist things about Barack Obama. They say they want to diagnose Joe Biden.
Yep. About Joe.
Just because he like was slow this one time. I mean, this happens all the time. And it's one thing if you're a government official doing it, but what you don't see are these actual campaigns to get everybody fired for not joining along with the group thing. But that is what's happening. That's the legacy Charlie Kirk has left on the right, which is for all the talk about free speech, it's becoming very clear, especially this week, none of these people give a damn about free speech unless it happens to be speech they agree with. So like, where are all those right-wing shock jock hacky
J-Mac just said
now? You know, how many of them are speaking out in defense of people who are criticizing Charlie Kirk? Because their whole thing is, yeah, it's comedy. There are no rules. You can punch any direction you want to. And suddenly it's like, oh, they're going after critics of Charlie Kirk. And a lot of those people on the right are nowhere to be found. I just find that ironic. I don't know. I just wanted to play that clip for you because it's weird. And churches should find it weird. And
it's
again,
creepy.
even though they're prefacing that particular clip by saying it's AI generated, by the time it's done, they're acting very much like that is something he did say or totally would have said, which is something you can only believe if you never listened to what Charlie Kirk said during his life.
Yeah, 100%. Okay.
Right, I will stop there. What questions do we have here before we move on?
All right, guys, I'm going to stop it there because he has some questions. And so, folks, here's what we're going to do. I just realized I've been streaming for like almost 3 hours now. Thank you for everyone who contributed. I'm going to get off for now because I'm very hungry. But I will probably we did, J-Mac. We watched it on stream, the Adam Friedland and Richie Torres interview. So, folks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get off. I'll probably come back on later and maybe do like a little bit of a gaming stream mixed with political conversation and such. Okay, but for now, I have a rumbly in my tumbly. Okay, as one might say. Thank you, Jazznaz. Okay. Yeah, really, thank you, Jazznaz, for that. Okay, guys. So, last thing here, folks. Before I go, if you like what you saw here, you can become a member for as little as 99 cents a month. You can click the join button beneath the video. Send me a super chat if you'd like. No food for me. I'll come back on later, J-Mac. Okay. All right, guys. So, support me if you don't mind. I'm trying to be able to do this full time, folks. As you know, I lost my job rather abruptly, if you know the lore behind that. So I've been trying to be able to figure out a way to do this full time. So any way you can support me would be appreciated. All right, what was I also going to say? Okay, yes. Lastly. Okay, here we go. You all know what's coming. You all know what's coming. You better all have it memorized by now. You better have it memorized by now. In your defense, Luke, I've only done 2 great gaming streams so far. Okay. Okay, thank you, Malzord. Please report back on the long walk. Okay, everyone ready? Let's do it. First of all, free Palestine. Free Palestine. Never forget what's happening there. There are still not millions. I mean, maybe at this point. There's a lot of thousands of people being slaughtered there. Free Palestine. Second of all, never stop resisting. The easiest way to resist is to think for yourselves. The easiest way to resist is to think for yourselves, and that includes when you watch me. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Don't get caught in an information silo. See what other people are saying. The easiest way you can resist is to think for yourselves. Okay? Thirdly here, we are living in a fascist moment in this country, not only this country, but around the world. Fascism thrives in an environment where people have lost faith in their democratic institutions, and they turn to more radical means to change things, including scapegoating and going towards the far right. The way to fix that is through major reforms. We need major reforms in this country. We have to give people faith in their democracy again, okay? You cannot stand in the center. If you stand in the center, the fascists will walk all over you like you are a slug on the ground, okay? Please don't stand in the center. Please, please, please. If not for yourself, for your loved ones. Okay. Lastly, on the wall behind me is a sword. Okay. The name of that sword is Chainbreaker. Chainbreaker has been passed down my family. It is rumored to have been responsible for the death of 7 slave owners. Why do I have it back there? I have it back there to remind everyone that our ancestors had made some major sacrifices in the past for some of the things we have today, including putting their lives on the line. And some of those things they got for us, we're kind of losing them. We cannot let those sacrifices go to waste, folks. Please don't let those sacrifices go to waste. Okay? And always, always, always fight for a better future. Okay. And on that note, folks, I'm probably going to come back on later to do some gaming. Okay. I love you all very much. Thank you for stopping by. Have a good rest of your day, morning, evening, night, wherever you are in the world. Bye-bye.